Hey Eric,
What's up, dude?
nothing much. How about yourself?
Good, good.
Just
Dude,
work.
welcome, man.
Well, thank you. Oh, we're recording now. All right.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's yeah, I always start recording right when I turn this on.
Okay.
But there's sometimes if we end up talking about something that's like me and the last podcast I did with Freddie from BFA,
Hmm.
we talked for like 20 minutes before he was like, "Hey, don't record this." He wanted to talk about something. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just, I cut it out.
Yeah.
So I always press record because I'm not sure sometimes, especially when it's somebody's first time on here, I'm not sure how it's going to
Hmm.
start out because I don't have a format. I'm just like, hey, what's up? And then we start talking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes
That
I've started like, oh man, today I did this at work and whatever. And we just kind of kicks off a conversation. So I don't know. I'm kind of random. I'm not organized with this. So it's whatever.
that's fair.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember that. So I do Rev and stuff like that, which is the big game of Battle Hack or one of the big games of Battle Hack, and I do a live stream after the end of my series.
Mm,
And I had the man in the purple coat, if you know who I'm talking about. And Port City Airsoft on the live stream that if you don't know Port City Airsoft, I mean they're good guys.
yeah.
So I mean I would say have them on next time or next opportunity
I
they
want to
give you.
say I follow them on, is it Facebook? I can't remember which platform I follow them on, but yeah, I've definitely heard of them. And I can't remember if I've reached out to them or not already.
Mhm.
There's a handful I've reached out to that, and either I didn't get a response or we just didn't figure out a time and maybe I forgot to reach
Mhm.
back out to somebody. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I had them on and I had shoot, I forget his name, but Purple Coat on. We were talking about the wilds for like a solid 30 minutes before the live stream started, and it was like 8 o'clock. I was like, oh, I gotta start the stream. All right. So when I send out all the invites, you guys keep talking about whatever you're talking about before the stream. And it sucks that I missed all that content that we could have used for the live stream and we were just shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
But
That's
but I
crazy. I
mean
did that before because I don't, these are all recorded, so I don't do these live.
Mhm.
I have done a couple of them live. And
Mhm.
the one time I didn't do any live for a very long time, for like over a year. And then uh because I was like, dude, they always get shut down or whatever. I'm just not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So and when I go live, I'm using Discord. We
Mhm.
were talking, this is, we were using Discord for the video call. And then uh so I go live through OBS. So I was using Streamlabs OBS to record the
Okay.
screen, and OBS has an ability to link your YouTube channel to that, because it's like set up for streamers.
Yeah.
So, and then you just click go live and it goes,
Mhm.
and then you just go back to your YouTube channel and go, whatever. So I, uh, I forgot to, so I clicked go live through OBS. So I'm
Mhm.
sitting here like, all right, guys, we're live, we're talking, whatever. And over here on my other screen, I forgot to click on the YouTube channel part to like,
Oh,
you have to do both. You have to go
yeah.
live on OBS, then you have to go back there and go click, I was like, oh my gosh, we were on there for like, I don't know, 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh shit. So I clicked go live. I didn't even say anything to anybody. I just realized it and I was like, oh, okay. So I clicked YouTube, and then within, I don't know, 20 minutes, as a matter of fact, I think it was Pink Unicorn. I think it was Pink Unicorn I was talking to.
Okay.
And uh, when he brought out the double pistols and was showing to me whatever,
Mhm.
the live stream got cut. So I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
anyway, not doing it live anymore.
Yeah, that YouTube doesn't like live stream people handling guns or anything, or YouTubers handling guns during live streams. It's
I
it's
get
weird
it.
like
I
that.
really do.
Yeah,
I mean,
that I
they don't want
know
somebody shooting themselves on live. I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I know that US Airsoft that he was showcasing airsoft guns all the time or airsoft replicas. I don't know what language you want to use with that.
Oh, there's no
But
rules. Just go ahead and speak freely.
Okay, fair enough. Airsoft
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah.
And yeah, he would constantly get shut down. So like when I'm doing these live streams and stuff like that, like I'm like, hey, I use this during the game, or I use that during the game. I pick it up and it's like, oh crap, I gotta put it away before YouTube shuts me down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, it is. Well,
it,
introduce yourself real quick. We'll go ahead and get started because yeah, man, it's I, yeah, I want to get into your YouTube channel and all the stuff you've been
it
doing. You got a lot of stuff going on. I'm really excited to have you on today. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you. That for those of you that don't know me, Frank, otherwise known as Frank Dad. That I grew up in South Jersey, and I started playing airsoft in 2013. So I was traveling to PA to play that every so often, every here and there. And then in 2017, I moved to PA, and I've been pretty much semi-regular, regular ever since. Because college, yeah, college is fun. Yeah, that
where'd you go to college in PA?
yeah, St. Vincent College in Latrobe, PA.
Oh,
And unfortunately, I didn't take advantage of being out west enough. Out west, I mean Pennsylvania or Pittsburgh area, because I know there's a couple good fields out there, like Steeltown, Battlegrounds, and I think there was Three Rivers. Battlegrounds is more of a beginner field, but I went there once just because. But their HPA rule is kind of because like
mm,
no HPA's, or well, it was no HPA's period before the pandemic, and I had to go out and buy a whole new setup just to play there once, and then I wound up selling it during the pandemic. But yeah, I went to college out in Latrobe, but I live out in Eastern PA, basically near Lancaster,
yeah,
if you know where that. Yeah,
I do
near
actually. Yeah,
Lancaster.
I used to have friends out there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mainly play at ambush. Sometimes I go Poco Loco. But I do a lot of the Otherworld Milsim series. I think you had Paul on a couple of weeks
Yes.
ago. Yes, that
Speaking of that, shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Jackal Tactical.
Jack,
There you
Jack
go.
Tactical.
See,
Yeah.
and who also runs Otherworld Mill Sim that sets up events. Shout out to Jackal Tactical for being a sponsor. Go to jacktac.com to find out more, and also Skirmish, Skirmish System. Yeah, nice patch
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I
There you
got the
go.
jacktac.com patch, so
There you
I'm
go.
jack tacked out.
And yeah, go to skirmish.net to find out more about that as well. So
Yeah.
shout out to the sponsors. Awesome, man. So yeah, you're up there all around that area and you started going. Did you start playing before you were in college or
Yeah, that I started playing in
okay?
high school. That I would make periodic trips up to Ambush. Actually, funny enough,
Yeah,
because that was the closest field to where I was. Because Jersey is a little communist.
really?
So yeah, that in fact, that you can't even really get airsoft down there. Well, you weren't able to. I know there's striker and everything, but the laws are a little wonky on that. Or
No
well, they were a
kidding.
little wonky. Yeah,
Oh,
that
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer. That
No,
I do computer stuff all day, but
yeah.
I mean, just the laws in Jersey suck.
No, I'm saying that I'm acting surprised. I am surprised because I've not heard of this. So I've not heard either way. Yeah, so
Hmm.
I didn't know. I think I guess it surprises me because I don't know, man, American history, you think about New York, New Jersey, like these are the rough, tough like areas, right? Where a lot of immigrants when they first come over, like they had to scrap to make their way. And
Hmm.
now like New York is so restrictive on the gun stuff and
Yeah.
I understand there's a history of gangster, like legitimate gangsters, not modern day gangstas, okay?
Yeah.
Gangsters that were shooting up the streets a long, long time ago. I get that. So, but still, I just feel like there's such a big history with the Northeast states up there that it's really sad when I hear about some of these places being really restrictive about anything related to guns, I guess.
Yeah, that I know I I'm gonna say that I don't want to rain on your parade a little bit, but Jersey though, like you have in order to get a firearm,
Yeah.
you need to basically be friends with the sheriff, get a permit, go through classes, test and everything. That's just for one gun. And I'm paraphrasing a lot.
Oh, you're not raining on my parade, bro. I mean, the facts are sad.
Yeah.
It is sad that it's turned into that, but yeah,
Yeah, that
that's crazy. You got to jump through all these hoops.
yeah. That I just that airsoft is in a legal gray area there. I mean, you could do it, it's just don't get caught by the cops.
Oh, that's terrible.
But but I did move to PA, so now I'm in the land of the free
There you
till
go.
someone screws up. That's how the
That's how it
political
goes.
left kind of views it. Yeah,
It
left
really
kind
is
of
though,
uses it.
and it's like that in anything in life. I mean, we being parents. Are you a parent?
No, I'm not. That I
Okay,
I'll get into the origin of my name, but I'm not a dad. But
okay.
continue.
So yeah, being a parent, like you start. I don't like the fact that okay, the 10% ruined it, right, for everybody. Like it make
Hmm.
all these different petty rules come out of the few that cause issues. So I used to think, it's total BS. I do understand a little bit. And being a parent, like, my wife and I have 5 children. They're all
Hmm.
grown. But when they were little, and they're all close in age. So when they were little, you'd see somebody get into something and make a mess, whatever. Okay, nobody's allowed in the pantry without parents. Okay, like
Hmm.
so I do get this blanket ruling to make it simpler. It's just it does make it things more simple, I think, for the overall, but it doesn't make it good for the people that are following the rules because we're like, bro, I didn't screw up. Why do I gotta be punished?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
that's a lot of that's a lot of state governments right now, but
yeah.
yeah,
So you said your name. Okay, so Frank Dad, I really did. When I first found you on Instagram, or we found each other on
Insta.
Instagram, a while ago,
Hmm.
I did think that you were one of the Airsoft dad, quote unquote dad. I was like, because I met Air underscore soft underscore dad, Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I met Airsoft underscore dad, Scott. And then I saw your channel. And I'm like, holy, how many Airsoft dads are there? Okay.
Yeah. Well, the origin of my name that funny enough, um I got it when I was 10, funny enough, that when it was Christmas 2009 that I needed a gamer tag for my PlayStation or for my PlayStation Network account,
Yeah.
and my dad made it for just out of the blue, and he didn't allow me any input on the name, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Hey, I just named you Frank Dad. There you go." And I'm like, "Okay," and
Yeah.
it stuck. So
It really
I
is.
yeah,
It's kind of catchy.
exactly. It's just dude, Frank Dad, dude,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, that it's small enough to put on a patch. Yeah, this is one of the first year patches, small enough to put on a patch.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, just real quick shout out to Lux now. I don't know if she'll ever watch this, but
Who is it?
um Luxerator Arts that I'll send you the link.
Okay.
But she did my logo design.
Nice.
But I don't know if she'll ever see this, but if you need art, yeah, if you need
We'll
art like
just
patches
tag
and
her
stuff like
on
that, yeah.
everything. When we post this, we'll tag her. We'll tag every social media thing. We'll put
Yeah.
her in it. Okay, like a
Yeah.
hundred times. Then she'll be like, "What is going on?"
Why am I getting so much work? She'll
Yeah,
probably be mad at me for that, but hey, I mean, I'm just trying to help her out. But but yeah, it stuck all through high school, all through college, somewhat.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that I when I first started out YouTube, I was like, I need a name, and I just threw that on there, Fight Dad, and
nice.
then I did small videos and stuff like that, like.
Yeah.
I tried getting my feet wet with gameplay. Like I got a little crappy action camera, and back then it was like $150 for something that shot in seven or I think it was 360p. Yeah, it was that
Whoa.
crappy. Yeah, 360p. It was
I
horrible.
mean, yeah, but back then, bro, that was the shit. Okay, you're
Yeah,
like, "Holy
like
cow! I have this action camera."
yeah, like 2014, 2015. I mean,
Okay.
you had your GoPros and stuff like that,
Mm,
but GoPros were like $400 a piece. My first session, I got that in 2017, and that's why I really started getting into YouTube. That was about, I think it was 200 or $300. No, no,
mm,
no, no, 300, I think.
yeah.
but that was like the top of the line, or two steps below, because you had the Hero 4 or Hero
Ah,
5 that just came out.
okay.
So the Session 4, yeah, Session Hero 4 was your lower end camera.
Mm,
But I used that, and I've been sticking with Sessions ever since. Even though there's like the 11 out now with the vision, with the stabilization.
yeah.
Now I just like the low profile of it. I don't have to worry about external batteries. Uh, I honestly run on longer ops, like during Milsim games or Rev or anything like that. I actually run a battery pack on top of my Xfog
Yep.
and just run it right in, and it
Hmm.
works. So I
Yep.
mean that I can just charge externally.
Yeah, that's how one of my sons did it. He put the battery pack on his helmet. And actually,
Mhm.
one of the guys I had on here, uh, from one of the guys from the Tryhards out in Florida, he
uh,
was like, he said, dude,
over.
Tactical Face was his call sign. He said, I record everything. He goes, I record before when we're getting ready. I record before we get on the field. I record everything all the time. He's like, I record
Mhm.
my life all the time. And he's like, I wear a GoPro constantly. I always have it. He goes, one of the best things I found out was using it. He goes, I always use it. He wears one of those battery packs
Mhm.
and runs it off the battery pack alone. He doesn't put a battery in there because if he's out in the sun, the
It'll
battery
overheat.
heats up. It'll
Yeah.
overheat. He said if you run it through take the battery out and run it through this battery pack, one of those portable chargers, then it won't overheat and won't shut off. And I was like, whoa, that's a pro tip for real.
Yeah, yeah, that I've never had a session, or I had a session overheat on me once, and it was like 100-degree day, indirect
Uh,
sunlight, running at 60 FPS,
oh,
that it will overheat.
yeah.
But if you run it at 30 FPS, your image quality, yeah, your frames, it's gonna look, if you're like do like
Yeah,
this,
really
it's
fast.
it's it's gonna be choppy,
Yeah,
but you're going to record everything.
sure.
So it's great for long milsims like that, but if you're playing CQB indoors and it's like 60, 70, 80 degrees inside the building, I mean, you can run 60 FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Nice.
but yeah, so
So what made you start a YouTube channel? Like how long have you had a YouTube channel and what made you start it?
so I had a YouTube channel since like 2014, and like we all have YouTube channels just to like comment, like, and subscribe to people.
Yep.
Um but I started putting out content because funny enough, do you remember Level Cap?
That sounds really familiar.
Level Cap Gaming?
That sounds really familiar. Well, I
Uh,
I wasn't into anything online very much before uh 2019, except video
okay,
games. But like
okay.
as far as video stuff,
Hmm.
before I got sick and started this channel,
Hmm.
I never went online. I mean, I went
Okay.
online to game, but as
Hmm.
far as like all the YouTubes, I thought YouTube was dumb as shit, bro. When my kids would watch, I'm serious. I was not. That's why I always joke about it. I'm like, I would have never started a YouTube channel. Like people that know me and I tell them, yeah, I started this YouTube channel a few years ago. They're like, what? Like you hated YouTube. I was like, I know. I thought it was the dumbest. I thought it was adding to the dumbing down of America. So anyway,
Yeah.
uh, obviously I've changed my mind since then. But
Hmm.
yeah, so that's where I don't remember. I remember PewDiePie, uh,
Okay, that's
the gamer.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a while back.
yep. My
Well,
kids. It
when I
was my
started out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Uh,
level up or level cap. No, I don't. It might sound familiar, but I don't know.
okay. Well, he
Yeah.
started filming airsoft videos, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And I kind of got into it through him,
Okay.
through Jet back in like 2013. I used to play a bunch of Battlefield 3, and I was with a clan. Worst decision of my life, but bunch of them played airsoft, and
Dude, Battlefield 3 with yeah, that was great. I played that one.
with the voice over IP where you can switch to the team and scream at all 12 to 32 players. No, that's fun. That's fun. But there were a bunch
Yeah.
yeah, there were a bunch of them that played airsoft, and they kind of helped me out getting the initial gear, like, hey, you want this, you don't want this, you don't want Lancer back in 2013, you want Echo One, you want VFC, stuff like that. So
Nice.
I got I got an okay loadout to start off with. Um, and then my first game ever was a night game at Ambush. Um, yeah, in 2013. Funny enough, it was July 20th. The only reason why I remember that is because there's a swap meet July 20th at Ambush, and that's like the 11th year anniversary of me starting
Oh,
or starting to play Airsoft.
nice.
And I played one game completely. I was overheated because I threw a camelback on my back, and I didn't realize I didn't need water out in the field. I could just keep in the staging area. I didn't realize that because I was stupid. And then I was tired. I sat down on a step inside of a trailer. I got stung by a wasp, or I got stung by wasps, like all like two here, or yeah, two stings here, and like
Under your neck.
both my knees. Yeah, on my neck.
Oh,
And um, then my mom, because I was a kid, my mom gave me some ointment or some cream like that
yeah,
to clear it up. And
right.
I wound up having an allergic reaction and had to get rushed to the emergency room.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was fun. But
What a crazy, what a
what a
wild
crazy
adventure.
first time. Yeah. That there's a lot of people like their first time, oh my God, I shot one guy, I feel so happy. Da, da, da. I
Yeah.
don't even think I shot anyone. I think I just wound up getting overheated, sitting down, getting stung, and that was it.
Oh
But
shit. Well, did it make you kind of like not want to go out and play anymore? Like, oh man, this okay, this ain't worth it, or did it make you go, no, I'm okay, whatever. I want to go play.
I was like, I want to go do this again to see how it is because I
Mm,
already at the time I dropped like $300 on the gear, or my parents
yeah,
dropped $300 on the gear because it was a gift for my birthday.
gotcha.
But but yeah, I was like, let me try this again because that was a fluke. That was just Mother Nature at that point.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and try it again. I was playing a game, or it was a scenario game of Ambush. They don't even run them anymore. It was Modern War in
Mhm.
2013. That's forever ago. Some of the people that been in Ambush a long time know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
that was a scenario game that was fun, and I was like, yeah, I'm hooked. So so yeah, that pretty much saved me from quitting Airsoft, and
Yeah.
yeah, then I've been playing Airsoft for over a decade at this point.
That's wild, right? Yeah, one of the guys I talked with in Japan, Mayday-san, he said,
Hmm.
I always ask people, how was your first experience? Like your first game you go out, was it cool? Like you left there going, man, this is awesome. I want to do this again. He goes, no, mine was the opposite. I went by myself because I saw a bunch of videos. I got all hyped up. I went to this little tiny indoor field. Uh, Nobody talked to me. Nobody was
Hmm.
friendly. I tried going out there. I sat most of the time on the freaking respawn bench, and
Hmm.
because I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know the field, I didn't know anyone. He goes, I left and said, I told my buddy, I'm gonna sell this gun. I'm not ever playing again. And then his buddy talked him
Hmm.
into playing again at a different place, and it was the exact opposite experience. It was everyone was like, "Hey, how you doing, man? Welcome, blah blah blah." And then went out on the field, had a great time, and he's been doing it for years, like yourself, and he
Yeah,
has this huge collection. But yeah, it's interesting to see how that the first experience is sometimes.
yeah. That don't judge. Yeah, don't judge an airsoft by the first game you play
Yeah.
because the first game you play, anyone new listening, is gonna suck, and you're
Hmm.
gonna suck, and you're probably gonna get shot up a lot. But
Speaking of that, this kind of translates to YouTube channel, and you have one, so you'll understand this.
Mhm.
And you've been doing one for a very long time. I got your channel pulled up
Mhm.
actually, and so
Oh,
you
cool.
have a lot of videos. You've been doing it over a lot of years, and
Mhm.
the first when I first started the very first YouTube channel I did before this one was number three. The
Mhm.
airsoft one was number three. So I I was like I saw these guys. This one guy, Sean, I can't remember his last name. He actually has a book out about it was real popular back in 2019, I guess, when I started. It was like how to hit 100 subscribers in the first something days or whatever, 30 days of your
Mhm.
YouTube channel. And so I really liked this guy. And I liked it was some kind of media channel he did because he was that was his background was like media and that kind of thing, video,
Hmm.
videography and everything. So anyway, I remember he said one time on one of his videos, for all you new YouTubers out there, just pretend the first 100 videos you put out are just practice. Don't look at
Hmm.
stats. Don't get caught up in all this stuff. Just pretend it's practice for building a long-term channel. And I was like, at the time, I thought, oh my
Oh
God,
my
a
God.
hundred
Yeah.
videos. I thought how much time and effort, because of the learning curve with like editing and learning the editing
Hmm.
program. I thought, holy shit, dude, this is going to take me forever to do 100 videos. Like, I thought that was going to be like, okay, 100 videos is your goal. Like that's the end. And then you're going to
No.
be successful. And I was like, oh, okay. So once I got that ingrained in my head, like, okay, it's just practice. You know what it did? It really kind of just made me relax and
Hmm.
go, okay, stop watching the analytics every second after you upload a video. Cause that's what I was doing. Like I
Yeah.
upload and I go, refresh, refresh, refresh. Like an hour later, I'm refreshing, like no views. I thought this thing was supposed to get views. Like, what's going on?
It's the almighty algorithm, Eric. And
So funny. Look back on it.
And speaking of the algorithm, it's stupid easy now for anyone to get those 100 subs. Like, you just follow the trends, you put out shorts that YouTube is forcing people to put out shorts now.
Yeah.
You put out shorts, you get X amount of views, X amount of subs. That it's honestly just too easy to get 100 subs. Now, 1,000, that's where it starts getting a little harder, and then 10,000 is a little
Mm-hmm.
harder. Then 100,000, that's like, yeah, you're going to have to be not an Airsoft channel because Airsoft is so niche.
It is.
Like, there's
Nobody knows of it,
only
man.
exactly like if I go out somewhere, hey, what did you do this weekend? Oh, I played Airsoft. They're like, huh? Oh, it's like paintball, and I
Oh,
have to,
okay.
yeah,
That's what they
I
do.
have to,
Like, oh, okay, got it.
yeah. And funny enough, speaking of talking to lay people about airsoft, so I went to the KWA Tactical League in at Extreme Airsoft in Rhode Island.
Oh,
That
nice.
was that was a fun trip up there that I don't want to talk about my driving skills, but
Why would happen?
I almost got into an accident in Jersey with
Okay.
everyone in the car,
Oh shit.
but we got there because I was trying
Like
to
like
merge out.
you're on the freeway and you had to slam on your brakes and swerve a little bit.
Yeah, because I was
Okay.
trying to get over in the right lane to not miss the exit. But we got there, and then the Airbnb, that's a whole nother story that I accidentally booked it in the Burrio. so
What is that?
I'm sorry.
What'd you say? You booked it in the
I
what?
in the Burrio, like the in the hood, like
Oh, okay.
the Puerto Rican hood, that I swear to God, that after the event, we got back to the Airbnb, there was a quinceanera down the street. They didn't stop till 6 in the morning.
Oh
And we
yeah.
had
Oh
to drive
dude.
back.
My
Yeah.
buddy, his that I'm very close with, I've known him for 17 years. He's married to a Mexican chick and they have,
Hmm.
3 kids and two girls. And so they've gone through the quinceañera thing
Hmm.
twice now. And I've
Hmm.
gone to some of these parties and
And they're
they're
wild.
ragers. Like they're
Yeah.
wild. And they go all night to the next day, like keep going. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my buddies I was sleeping out in the living room said, yeah, I kind of thought it was crazy and wild once I start hearing street bikes racing up and down the street at 5 in the morning.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
besides that, there's a Cracker Barrel somewhere in Rhode Island. We stopped there on the way back after killing it at the KWA Tactical League. We One of my buddies actually came in first and won a bundle from Skirmash.
Oh,
So shout out
nice.
to them. Yeah. Um, but we went to Cracker Barrel. We were all dressed up with camo and Jackal Tactical shirts and everything, and we all get seated and we start talking about stuff. And the waitress is like, "Oh, what did you guys do? Oh, we just did this." Da, da, da. And then one of my buddies, Greg, that he's the high kappa builder at Jackal,
Okay.
that we were talking about something, and then he says plainly, "Oh, we went there, we met some kids, and we shot them." And then the waitress was right there. And I was like, in airsoft, in airsoft, in airsoft. So I was like, oh God, a bunch of people walking in with camo talking about shooting kids. Yeah, this is going to go
Oh,
down
and we
well in
got it
the
on
Democratic
video,
State.
by the way.
Oh, and we got it on video.
I can
Well,
imagine.
yeah.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, that was probably the sketchiest part of what's Airsoft
Yep.
that I ever had to deal with. But what was I gonna say? Oh, speaking of video from that place, I didn't really get that much video. That there was something in the rules like you can choose classes,
Yeah.
and I chose to be a sniper in CQB because one of my buddies had a Wolverine bolt and let me borrow it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I did okay. Like
Okay.
you get a head start or something like that,
Mm.
and you can carry. I
To
think it
like
was like
post up or something. Get somewhere to
yeah,
post up.
but it was only like a 3 second head start. I didn't know the map, so that really worked out.
Yep. I mean, I'm gonna get 2 steps in 3 seconds, bro. I don't even know. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah,
get like this. Like just oh,
yeah.
3 seconds. Okay.
And then I remember getting yelled at by the ref, like, "Hey, they didn't say go." I was like, "I have the perk."
Oh, that's
So,
funny. Okay.
but unfortunately, though, I didn't get that much footage because I was posted up,
Yeah.
basically just suppressing everyone while all my guys were doing all the fun stuff.
Yeah, not only that, but you probably in that kind of environment, you're you're probably to get good footage from a sniper, like with a scope cam, you have to be able to see and follow through the shot all the way till it hits
Yeah,
somebody and even after a little bit. Because
you
if
gotta
you
see their
if
hand.
you yeah, if you turn that camera away to not, if it's like bolt action or whatever, to rack
Mhm.
something else, even right when it hits them, it still messes up the video because it's not fun to watch unless you see
Yeah,
the whole follow through. So it's very difficult, and a lot of people don't know that until they like you don't realize until you go shoot your own video with scope cam and you go, oh shit. Okay, when you go do it again, make sure you hold it and hold it and hold it and then rack your bolt. Like it's very
yeah.
unnatural. It's unnatural because as soon as you
It
pull the trigger, you want to go,
Yeah, it is. But I mean, if I know I'm missing the shot, like okay, it's going to go. Whoop, BB goes like this. Yeah, but I do have a SSG 10. I do some sniper gameplay,
Mhm.
and the last place I ran a sniper was skirmish. That was Operation Apocalypse 8. I didn't get any good footage because my scope cam was all messed up. It was wonky for some reason.
Hmm.
So none of the scope cam footage was viable. But the time before that, I was at Operation Bone Crusher down in Midgeville, Georgia, hosted by
Yeah.
Third Coast. And that event, it was mainly CQB oriented, to be completely honest with you. But there were some perches for snipers. And
Okay.
I found a perch in a third story of a building. And there was a bunch of glass broken out, not by me. They said, don't break the glass. But I found this perch, and then there was a catwalk, and all my teammates they say it's the land, or I said it was the land bridge because I heard someone say it was the land bridge, and now they won't shut up about it. Like they just say, "Oh, Frank's protecting the land bridge now," or Dean's List, which is my nickname on my team, is protecting the land bridge. Are you gonna find the land bridge? Oh, land bridge, land bridge. Shut up.
Oh my God.
But I held that overview for 2 phases of the game because there were 4 phases. It
Okay.
was day one was 2 day phases and a night phase, and then day two was a one last day phase. That day
Hmm.
two, I just said I'm experiencing another part of the field at this point. I
Sure.
don't want to stay up in a building the entire time.
No.
Um, but I was holding down that corridor, and no one got through.
Hmm.
And the few that did, it was like 1 or 2 people. But I was nailing people pretty
Really?
good. Yeah.
Dude, that's like the scene in Saving Private Ryan with the dudes up in the snipers up in the clock
Yep.
tower.
Yep.
Just pick them off, pick
That,
them off, pick them off.
that's all I could think about because there were just like a bunch of people like 200 feet away, and like these AEGs weren't hitting them. I'm like, all right,
Did you
done.
recite scripture while you were racking your bolt?
No, I missed that
How
opportunity.
dare you?
Yeah, and I even went to a Catholic school, so I'm going to hell for that one.
Right?
But But yeah, I had a good time. Then there was one awesome grenade throw that so at the time EG 67s were banned, and if we got pulled over, I was like, I do not want to deal with the cops down the south with illegal explosives.
Oh,
So I
right.
brought a gas grenade, and actually it was an impact matrix typhoon. I threw that out the window and I got a bunch of people with it. And the ref was like, I can't believe you did that. They were so pissed that they pushed up and they all got killed because of your grenade. I'm like, oh my god, I love it. But the only part of that event that I had some quorums with, or actually three, one was they were saying we were crack shooting constantly, even though all the windows were broken, but the windows were like a little rectangle, like yay big.
Okay.
Like we couldn't stick our muzzles out of them, even on the third floor. Like, because I needed the angle, but they wouldn't let me get the angle.
What
So
was, so what is crack shooting now? Is that where you're,
So
uh,
crack shooting's like if you're shooting, like if there's a crack like yay
oh,
big,
gotcha.
this is what it's meant, like yay big, and you stick your muzzle like right here, and you
Mm-hmm.
shoot through it that they can't shoot you, but you can shoot them.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
crack shooting.
Okay.
But they were saying if you stand 3 feet back from it and shoot through the gap, you're good. Because I
Yeah.
mean, if I can shoot someone through a gap at 50 foot or 50 feet, that I mean, is that really crack shooting, or is
Right.
that just you have bad cover?
Yeah, exactly.
But like 3 feet, I mean, all the windows are broken. It's just like wood or metal. I
Yeah.
forget what it was. Wood or metal
For the
stop and
framing.
shut. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So
it's
that,
six and a half.
so you weren't, so the windows itself, you were shooting out the windows and they were
Yeah.
saying that's crack shooting because of how the framing on the windows were?
Well, it was how far I was closing or how close I was standing to the window,
It's so
which
weird
was weird. Yeah, exactly.
because I thought, there's this whole, this is what I don't get sometimes is these, some of these rules with that in particular, which
Hmm.
is I guess what happened recently at some, this event, that I talked with somebody about is, the confusion about, does your barrel need to be breaking the plane of the window or behind, inside? And there was some confusion at this recent event with the same kind of thing where they didn't,
Hmm.
like, some refs knew, okay, your barrel has to be sticking out, which makes
Hmm.
sense to me because
Yeah.
at least that way somebody, people out there know, they can identify where it's coming from. Okay, oh, it's up there. But
Yeah.
yeah, the crack shooting thing, that's strange. Yeah.
Well, just taking one step back with sticking breaking the plane in the window,
Yeah.
like I agree for LMGs and snipers because I don't want to get shot point blank with a sniper. In fact, I did get shot point blank with a sniper once. I got shot point blank right in the neck at
Oof.
ambush because someone wasn't paying attention, and
Mm.
yeah, that hurt. So I don't want that happening to anyone.
Yeah.
And then for LMGs, I don't want to get peppered up the side
Hmm.
um by someone not breaking the plane in the window. So that makes sense. But for rifles and stuff like that, I mean, one
Yeah.
shot up close, meh.
No big deal.
But back to the crack shooting thing, yeah, that we were it was a little ambiguous with how they were
Gotcha.
ruling it, but I still had an all right time up there. And then also the spawn for the tan team was like a hike. Like it
Hmm.
was a good half or not half mile, probably like quarter mile, and then you gotta go up a steep hill
Yeah.
or down a steep hill depending on what day it was. So that was eh. But I mean they only have so much space to work with at the AO. So
Right.
that was okay. And then my third gripe, which is no fault of Third Coast, someone was using pipe bombs.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that someone
Like
was using
metal
pipe
pipes, like
well
real pipe bombs.
PVC that
Okay.
they hauled us up in formation or they hauled us all up in formation day two, and I forget who it was. I was like, hey, we found this. We know who you are. We got cameras everywhere, which they do, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
We got cameras everywhere. We're going to call the ATF on you. And apparently they called the ATF on them or BATFE. So
Right.
yeah, because I have to get that 5 letter agency right now.
So somebody brought homemade
Pipe bombs.
PVC pipe bombs.
Hmm.
That is messed up, bro.
That is, but I mean, looking at it in context, like I think it's 100% wrong, but EGs were banned. Tags were banned.
Mm.
That there was no other pyro unless you stashed it pre-ban. Now,
Yeah, so
luckily,
what so there's
yeah.
no other, there's no other like grenades that people can use that explode when those two, when you can't use EGs or tag ins, there's no other options right now, or I guess
Oh,
before.
well, at that time, now EGs are back. They got the ATF exemption.
Right.
Tagged AFG fours and sixes are back. They got the exemption. Um, but at the time, you had Thunder Bees, you had gas grenades, you had
Oh.
spring grenades. That there were a bunch of different options that you can use.
Oh, okay.
Now, none of them were pyro, and
Oh,
also
thunder bees
people
don't blow up.
Thunder Bees blow up pretty good. You just gotta make sure that you set them correctly.
Hmm.
Like you could shim them real good with dimes and pennies and stuff like that to make it go off quicker if you really want to.
Hmm.
That's an old trick in the book. But
Does it take too long? I've never we've never tested. I've used the EGs.
mhm,
My son's got those, and I've tried them out. The
mhm,
tag ins I've used, the Reaper rounds, smoke rounds, or chalk
mhm,
rounds, I guess.
yeah.
The and then I think that's it for pyro. Uh, but I
Um,
don't think I've ever used the
yeah.
Thunder Beast, so I don't know how they. What is it? A pin you pull, and is it a fuse, or how does it work?
So how a Thunder Bee works that you got a CO2 cartridge, you put that in a core, and then you screw the top assembly on that has your hammer. Yeah, that has a hammer that's spring loaded with a pin with a firing pin that could puncture the CO2 cartridge, and you screw that all into a plastic shell. And then when you want to use it, it's has a safety pin. Pull the pin, let the spoon go, and throw it. The
Mm.
spoon allows the hammer to go forward, puncture the CO2. CO2 starts to leak and fills up the shell. Basically, the CO2 is your fuse, or well,
Ah,
the CO2 in the shell are your fuse,
yeah, yeah.
and then eventually it explodes because all the pressure it builds up from the CO2. But from what I found, like it works a couple times, and this is for the Valken ones. That the Valken ones, I don't even think they're no longer. I think they're no longer on the market.
Hmm.
But but the Valken ones, sometimes they fail to explode because all the pressure leaks out.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that's why I moved
Okay,
away from
okay.
those and moved to impact gas grenades and EGs. That
Right.
tags, they're awesome, they're loud, they hurt.
Hmm. Yeah,
They're just a little expensive
right.
because I can because a AFG 4 is $12 and AFG 6 is 16 or
Uh-huh.
something like that. I could be wrong. An EG is 10. So
Yep.
I can get more EGs, they do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. And a
Okay.
lot of and a lot of fields that it's the sound that kills you, not the BB.
Right.
So if I'm going to that field or that event, I'm gonna run EGs. If it's
Yep.
the BB that kills you, then I might as well shell out the extra couple bucks to get tags.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, most of the ones I've seen on videos and then the couple milsims I've been to with these guys, they it's usually the sound. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, you're in the vicinity of this, the blast radius, quote unquote, from
Hmm.
this explosion. So you're all dead. Like it takes
Yeah.
like an admin or somebody like that to kind of tell, okay, you guys are your whole stick right there, your whole group, you're gone. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's an admin or an honorable player that I mean,
that's
I've
true.
there've been a couple instances on my local field where like an EG lands right next to a bunch of people. I'm like, all right, we're all dead. We're all dead.
Hmm.
And there's no ref intervention. It's just like, hey, we're all
Sure.
dead. And then someone's still shooting. I'm like, hey, bro, grenade, you're dead.
Yeah, there are I'm sure there's a lot of times where that's kind of difficult to tell who, like how far does it go, because there was a one of the videos, I wasn't at this particular event, but it was a Third Coast event. It might have been
Hmm.
Stonebreaker, but it was at GTI. But
Hmm.
one of the ones where our guys were filming with the GoPros and everything. They had just unloaded from this pickup truck, they got brought in, and there were some people up on the roof of the building that weren't supposed to be up there. I guess it's supposed to be
Yeah.
off limits, but
Hmm.
I don't know who, whatever, but they dropped a grenade down and it landed. Like we had slow motion footage. I slowed it down. You could see where it was, and all of our guys were dead. Like Johnny, JP, Chris, Colton, and then Johnny's
Hmm.
cousin. He was gone. So there was like, but there were like 10 other people, kind of really spread out. Okay,
Hmm.
all along the side of this building. So one of the admins that was over there was like, okay, y'all are dead. Okay, you two down there, you're far enough away, you're good, you know. And they
Hmm.
continued down to the side of the building. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's I imagine there's got to be people out there that are like, no, man, I wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Not, you know,
That,
and they're literally like 2 feet from it.
yeah, that's the nerve of some people, am I right? But I mean, airsoft's a game of honor at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So if someone spends $10 to get you out, you might as well just call it. If
yeah,
you're 10 feet 5 inches away, just call it.
yeah, right.
Yeah. But but yeah, I actually had an instance of that happen a couple weekends ago. That was at Downfall 10 at EMR Event Park by hosted by Otherworld Nielsen.
Hmm.
Um, there was someone in like some brush, and they got me. I was like, all right, good kill and everything. Medic comes and revives me, and I give him a couple seconds to see what you do. I'm like, hey, there's a Meg in the thicket, or there's a guy in the thicket. Meg gets hit. I'm like, all right, I have an LMG. I'm too close because I had a 249.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, I just chuck a grenade on him. Perfect arc lands right on top of him, explodes. He runs off. I'm like, bro, come on.
Oh,
That's the worst. That like
the
that's the
real
worst.
obvious blatant ones. Yeah,
Yeah, because if I was able to get him, then I would have been able to flank and get a bunch of other people with the 249 or something like that. But
yeah.
airsoft, ding, or airsoft moment.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
But
man.
what was I going to say? Oh, we were talking about my channel earlier, like how I was
Yep.
progressing and everything.
Hmm.
So started playing semi-regularly and from 2017 to 2021. That's when I was in college, or that's when I was in college. And then
Okay.
summer 2021 to now, I've been playing pretty regularly. That I like to take a break in August because it's too hot up here. And
Hmm.
I played enough already. I mean, I don't need to play in August and kill myself. So so I'm gonna sit out in August and try to save a little bit of money
Yeah.
because I go to a couple games in the fall.
I was gonna say, what do you
Um,
yeah, what's your season look like when you go, like now that you've been playing for so long, you kind of figured out like I like playing these certain events or this one that's put on by this group. What
mhm.
what do you start when do you start and then when do you end?
My season, I tend to start in March because the ambush walk-on schedule used to start in March. There were no games in January and February because it's too cold.
Yeah.
But there have been a couple hot days, like 50-degree days, every here and there in January and February. So sometimes I might go out and play, just for the heck of it. I might play one game because my team, Bad Influence, that we help Chrono at the field. And we get some perks, we get some free
Sure.
missions. So if I go and help Chrono and then I hang out for a little bit and then I play a free game or then I play a game, I didn't spend that much money to go out there except
Sure.
gas and my time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I really started March though, and then I run to December. The game's coming up for me this weekend, January, June 1st. At this podcast is probably going to go out in like 2-3 weeks, so I already played the event. I'm going to be playing Operation Olympus at OTP on Target Paintball. That's in
Mm.
Pemberton, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So I've never been there before, and I hope to check it out. That's actually the third time I played in Jersey. The first time it was at Picasso Lake. Not my best experience, but they're new, they're starting out, so I'll give them a pass.
Sure.
The second time was Striker with the ESG 10 or ESG B10 G&G shotgun that's coming out. That we Paul was able to get his hands on a pre-production model
What?
that was making its round. Yeah, that was making its rounds around the US. And I told Paul, I am not going to Striker unless I go with this gun. And
Yeah.
then Greg hit me up and said, hey, you want to go to Striker? We're bringing the shotgun. And I'm like, yeah, I want to go.
Oh, I'm looking at your
So
YouTube channel. Did you do a thing on it yet?
yeah, that I did well, I
Okay.
did two videos. I just did two shorts. I didn't do a long form video because
Gotcha.
CQB long form, it's kind
Yeah.
of dead unless if
Right.
I want to do a mumble rap mag dumping kids video. um
Right.
but as for a review though, fun fact, there I don't know if the embargo is lifted by the time this is out, but there's a review embargo on that gun.
Really?
Like, yes, there's a review embargo. So I can't say that much about it.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it was fun. I could show me
Well, because
shooting
it's
people with
not
it.
because it's not fully like released yet, or
Yeah, it's not fully released yet.
oh,
That we got a pre-production version
right.
that we didn't get the retail version.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can't say
Oh, I
anything
thought it
pro
was already
or
out. Oh, okay.
okay, so it's out in Europe. It's out in
Oh,
Europe,
okay.
and some
Okay.
people in Canada, I guess they got dealer sample or not dealer samples, but I guess they got demo units, and some people in Canada sold the demo units, but don't quote me.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Okay.
I've been seeing units starting to make their rounds on
Okay.
Discord and social media and stuff like that. So it's not out in the US, but it's out in other places.
Hmm.
Um,
That's kind of strange. I feel like that's a little different than most airsoft guns, like new models that come out. Like they just announce it. They rely on the retailers to start marketing it,
mhm.
and then it's hey, fair game, let's go. Yeah. So it's strange that they would hold back. I wonder if are they trying to do like a test, like a player test kind of thing, or what?
I I
Why?
don't I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not G&G, but
create
what I
some
can
hype for it.
tell, yeah, that they want to make hype. They want to create hype. It's kind of like a review embargo on video games. Like
Yep.
you say, you're
Yep.
in video games, that there's review embargoes for those, and it's been
Yep.
a staple of the industry.
It's true.
So I guess they want to make hype.
Good marketing
Um,
technique.
Good marketing technique because it's like, oh, it's something super secret we can't talk about till it
Oh,
comes out.
everyone wants something they can't have, bro.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we brought it out, and it was me, Greg, and buddy of mine, Coulter, who happened to show up. That we were running it a little bit, and everyone was like, "I'm gonna shoot." I'm like, "We can't trust you because we have to ship this off to probably I think it was ACS. Don't quote
Mm,
me. I didn't see the shipping label,
right.
but it made sense because it was like they were doing their noob day and they were like advertising, "Hey, we're gonna have this the
Right.
week after us," so it made sense.
Wow. So it's making its rounds around the
Yeah,
what? Okay.
yeah. That
G&G,
look,
I want one now. See, this is what happens.
MSRP is 359.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's
that
yep. It's kind of high for a shotgun.
yeah. Well, the Flak 5 and Flak 10 they were 600, and AI ran off with the money.
Holy cow.
Oh, you don't know this?
No.
Okay, so back in 2020, right before the pandemic, Airsoft Innovations announced the Flak 5 and Flak 10 shotgun, which was a semi-auto M4 mag-fed shotgun that shot 5 or 10 rounds, exactly the same thing as the G&G shotgun, except it was made out of CNC aluminum, and it was good quality. I can't say what I wanted to say because of the embargo, but but it was good quality. And they didn't say anything about HPA, but it was good on green gas.
Hmm,
And some units made it to market. Some units got out of Canada and made their rounds. That I know Jet wound up getting one.
okay.
But then they were trying to make a second batch when they didn't even fulfill the orders for the first batch. And there were retailers that didn't even get the Flak 5, Flak 10 at all. And then they were at IWI or IWA or whatever that sportsman show is in Germany,
Mm.
trying to get a second run or money for a second run, but they already shuttered up the shop. And that's basically what killed AI or Airsoft Innovations AI. But they took all the pre-order money and ran.
Holy crap. So has anyone ever figured out, like, did they ever come out and say what happened?
No, they
Why
didn't.
they closed up and what? Nothing. No word.
Nothing. That it was shady as hell.
Dude, I feel like this is going to be one of these Netflix uh series like in 2 years, right? Like
Yeah,
the true crime kind of thing,
yeah. Well,
This
the
is good.
problem is that no one caught him yet. But
Yeah. Holy cow. All right,
I
y'all
know,
listeners out there, whoever's kind of sleuthy, likes your true crime stuff, go investigate this stuff. Man, that's crazy.
yeah, that if anyone finds AI that they owe retailers a bunch of product or
That's
money, depending on what they
crazy,
want to do.
bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. But G&G made the Flag 5, Flag 10 at an affordable price, like, and it's kind of like the what it should have been. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for it to come out. Like I'm number 2 on the pre-order list at Jackal. So yeah,
Damn.
I can't wait.
Perks of who
Um,
you know, I guess.
yeah, yeah, really.
Yeah.
Um, so, but back onto the topic though. Topic though of Fields, yeah. So OTP would be the third time, my third time playing in Jersey.
Okay.
So I can't wait for that. And then that's June. The rest of June shot because I got like multiple weddings to go to because it's wedding season.
Yeah, it is.
So
Now, is
so I
this
got
like friends or family or both?
both.
Okay.
I got one for family, one for friends. That the
Yeah.
one for family is going to be the wedding from hell, but
Oh no. Is it a sibling
no
or a,
cousin.
a cousin?
Cousin. I'm not going to speak that much on it. It gets personal.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so I got that wedding. I got a wedding for the Tech F Jackal that I got invited for that.
Oh, nice.
Corey. Yeah,
Okay.
so going to that. And then I gotta help out with the shop because Jackal vends Bad Blood actually at EMR. That's hosted by Evic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
What's
help
it
out
called?
where I can. Bad Blood. That's the
Oh.
big Evic event on the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
So gonna
God,
help
I don't.
out.
Either my
What's that?
memory is shot or I don't. Maybe I've never seen that one. That's wild.
Really?
Bad blood. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it
But
up.
it every year I hear it's a cluster,
Really?
but I mean it draws in the players and
Yeah.
but I've never been there. I just help out where I can at Jackal
So it's kind
sometimes
of like a
because
shot show type of setup. Like it's
no,
just oh,
it's like they vend up there. So
yeah.
everyone goes up there because there's like a couple hundred players.
Hmm.
So there's no one back home, so I gotta help back home. So I
Yeah.
can't go to Bad Blood yet.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that's why my June shot a little bit.
Sure.
Um, July probably walk-ons. August I take off,
Yeah.
except I'm refing Night Sky, which is August 2nd into the 3rd.
Okay.
So it's Saturday and then it ends on midnight or midnight between Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a 12-hour straight milsim
Mm.
in the August heat at EMR. It's fun, and that's I don't play because I don't feel like dying of heat stroke, so
Yep.
I ref it
There you go.
and I have a good time. August 7th, that there's actually an event that I just found out about. Shoot, what is it? Hold on. Atomic Dawn. Atomic Dawn.
Atomic
That's
Dawn. Okay.
it's a it's like a LARP post-apocalypse event, kind of like Rev or Nuke Atlanta or Carolina Radlands.
Yeah.
Um, that's kind of like that. From what I've been hearing, that's the first time they're doing it. I'm hoping to get my ticket in a little bit. Actually, probably when I hop off the podcast, I'm gonna get the ticket.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm going to that because I like that kind of stuff. That Rev really got me into that.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Then end of September, yeah, towards the end of September, I don't know the exact date. There's a scenario game at one of my local fields. I'm going to go to the fall. I just gotta find out the date for that.
Gotcha.
And then I want to try to hit EA Fest.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to just get up there because honestly, Lenny, the owner of EA Lenny, that he treated us like royalty, that he's a
Really?
very good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard a lot
That
of good
when
things about him.
yeah, when we rolled up there for the KWA Tactical League, like he gave us a personal tour of the field
Oh, nice.
and showed us everything, showed us the back room, showed us the stock room, showed us the tech rooms. Yeah, it was awesome. And I really want to go back. I want an excuse to go back, and EA Fest is my excuse.
Well, not only that, man, I heard EA Fest is great.
Mhm.
I heard it's really fun and there's a lot of, it's put on really well.
Yeah, I know it's more of a community block party than an
Yeah.
airsoft convention, but but
Exactly. Yeah.
it's all networking at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then October, I don't have anything. November, it's either the last weekend October or first weekend November. Operation Code Orange. That's by Otherworld Milsim. That's going to be a Crescent Prison or Crescent Sanatorium. That I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
That's going to be an awesome game. And then I got Rev. I think they're calling it Rev Rift this year.
Okay.
I'm doing that. That's December. Come on, I forget. December 14th and 15th.
Okay.
So I'm doing that. And then the Ambush Christmas game that's going to be the 26th. That's the day after Christmas game. Would you believe me if a walk-on day after Christmas game would gets like 500 players?
Holy cow.
Yeah, that I
I mean,
have.
I guess it makes sense. People are tired of being stuck in the house. They got Christmas gifts they want to go play with.
Mhm.
And yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah, that I have footage from a couple years ago. The entire staging area. That Ambush is the biggest has the biggest numbers for walk-on games in the country.
Really?
Um yeah, it's right on par with Battlehack, to be completely honest with you, with numbers.
That's
But
crazy, bro.
yeah, but largest numbers, the entire staging area was full for rules. Like
Mm,
from one end to the other. And the staging
that's
area is pretty
crazy.
big.
Yeah,
um so yeah, that's pretty much 2024 in a nutshell.
bro, that's busy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of airsoft events.
Yeah.
No
That
kidding.
I mean, I've played enough walk-ons to where I might play a couple games. I'm waiting for these events to really go
Yeah.
all out. Because when you play regularly, it's just like sometimes you lose some of the fun, and I kind of get back some of that fun by using weird and wacky stuff.
Mm,
Like one game, I just said screwed, and I used a bolt action, like a low power bolt action rifle, and shot 350 FPS with point twos.
yeah.
And I was wrecking, or I was going to town on some
Yeah.
people. It
Oh,
was
that's
a
cool.
it was a S&T Car 98 that I got off of a trade. And I was like,
Okay.
I'll just use it. I have one
Yeah.
mag for it. It works.
That's awesome. Okay.
um, but yeah,
That's how,
um,
that's how some of these guys I've talked with that have been playing airsoft for a very long time, going to a lot of different events. Like they've explored every aspect of it. Like they've tried
mhm,
some indoor, they don't really like it that much. Or they kind of figured out what they like. And to prevent getting bored or airsoft burnout or whatever, they'll
yeah,
just mix it up. They'll do I think Mayday-san was talking about that too. And some of the guys that have a huge collection of guns, of different guns,
mhm,
they it seems pretty common that they'll look for different ways. So they'll look for different ways to experience or to create another experience. So they'll use different
mhm,
gear, different gun. Uh, okay, I'm going to do this. I think one of the guys was talking like, I'm only going to use like I'm going to go and make it uh, realistic. So I have to
mhm.
use 30 round mid caps. So just like for my M4, okay.
Yeah,
So and that way I have to reload and I have to do this
mhm,
and I have to do that. It's like the bolt action. If they're
mhm.
going to do some kind of bolt action thing, they can only put 6 rounds in there, like a real steel type of thing. Like holy crap, man, that would really
Yeah,
make you think on the fly. So it does change up the experience.
yeah. That the craziest thing I've done in regards to like change up playstyle and everything like that. I haven't done melee only. I've never really gotten around to it. Just I'm not big into melee stuff, right? Or boffer weapons or anything like that. Um, probably let's probably run that entire day with that bolt action rifle because my cousin was in town. I was like, hey, let's go play airsoft, and he was 14 at the time.
Okay.
So I was like, hey, let's play airsoft. And I wake him up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's like, oh, it's too early for this stuff. I'm like, and he doesn't normally get up that early. He
No,
usually gets up at like 10:30, 11 in the morning. But
for sure. Yeah, when you're not in school. Yep.
yeah, or well, weekend.
Right.
So so um we go out, we play, and it was pouring down rain. I feel sorry for him. I gave him an AEG because he wanted to use an AEG. I said, "Hey, here's an MTW. Here's a
Oh, nice.
SG-10. Here's a AAP-01 that's fully kitted out. Here's an AEG. What do you want to use? Oh, I want to use this. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that
So he didn't
that kind
choose
of
the
reminds me.
MTW.
No, he didn't choose the MTW. I told him what it was, and he still didn't choose it. But
He just don't know yet. That's all. He just don't know.
yeah, he'll learn eventually. That I'll try to get him out to a
He'll
field
learn.
sometime this summer. He'll learn.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, that I ran that bolt action. He ran that rifle. He didn't have that good of a time to be completely honest because he
Yeah.
was new. He had new player syndrome. He was scared, stuck in a corner, staying in a
Mm,
castle or a building. Got a couple people, but yeah, I was like, push up with me, do
yeah.
this, and you just if if you're gonna be like that as a new player, like follow the lead of the guys that like know what they're doing. Like if they look like SEAL Team 6, follow them. You're gonna have a
Yeah.
good time.
Yep.
Not 99% of the time. There are
Right.
some times where they just stand around and either just take pictures or just stay in the back because they it's like send A&A first.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah. um so yeah, just push up with them.
Yeah,
uh
that's sometimes what happens at those events that I've heard of is that the new players get stuck kind of in the back if they don't run with the, because there's going to be experienced teams there
mhm,
and experienced players that they're going to run up and then like if you don't follow them, like you're never going to see action really
yeah.
because, being in the back, it's especially if your team the team you're on, if those guys that are rushing up there, if they're good,
Mhm,
they're going to keep the enemy away. Like that's the whole
yeah.
thing, and you're stuck in the back somewhere. You're not getting any action. It sucks.
Yeah, that there's at ambush that there's one tower, it's tower 10 that we call it because it's on top of trailer 10 because there's a big trailer field at ambush. And we get these kids up there all the time. We're trying to go after the castle. The castle's like a good 150 foot away.
Yeah.
And we're shooting at it with our high-end guns and we're hitting it and we're getting people and everything and suppressing it. We get kids up there with rentals. I'm gonna be honest with you, you don't have the range, go down the stairs, go push the castle.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stay up here because you're not gonna be effective.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with them, and then they have a good time after that. That because you're just not standing in one spot.
Yeah.
So
I remember when I took a couple of my sons to paintball. This
mhm,
is years ago. And they were fairly young. I mean, I think my oldest was 11 at the time. And
mhm.
for paintball, that's, it's kind of
That's
young.
young.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
young.
because paintball hurts, it thumps pretty hard. And
Yep.
so they but I remember there was kind of like a castle kind of set up or whatever in the middle, and we're in the woods and it's on
Mhm,
a hill anyway, so it's really hard to get to. And in tactical stuff, in combat, like the person with elevation usually has a very good advantage. And
mhm.
so it was very difficult to get up there. Well, I was like, dude, come on, let's go. Quit hiding behind this tree and we'll get up there and then you'll have fun. So I take off and me and a couple of buddies, whatever, we go up and
Mhm.
my son was still back there and their friends. And, it was just like a bunch of them stayed back waiting. And I was like, ah, dude. And we took over the castle, like we made
Mhm.
it. And so it would have been a really cool experience if they would have, but I understand, like sometimes you're getting pelted. You never know,
Yeah.
and then freaking
And
hurts.
and also a lot of new players, like on the paintball side, a lot of new players, they're not speedball players
Right.
that they don't know what's going on. Funny enough, I actually did a brief stint, or I was a ref at Ambush for a brief stint, like
Hmm.
5 years or so,
Okay.
while I was in college. And I refed a lot of paintball in my day.
Yeah.
um,
So you probably
I have
saw
a
a lot of
couple.
that different kind
I
of players. Yeah.
Yeah, that like for instance that trailer field that there's four trailers in a row, like it's 7, 8, 9, then 10, the 10 with the tower.
Mm.
um when we say go, like we start them on the other side, like behind the trailers and everything. When
Yeah.
we say go, they just go into the trailers right in front of them and they don't move for like 5 minutes.
Oh
So
my
it's like
gosh.
so it's like the refs, me and the other ref, we have to encourage them like, hey, move
Yeah.
up. It's clear, move up.
Right.
Just just to get them fighting and just to
Yeah.
get them to do stuff.
I'll bet.
But reffing at ambush, uh as I said, it's near Lancaster. So if you know Lancaster, you know have you heard the song Amish Paradise?
No.
Really?
Not that I know of. Who's it by?
Amish Amish Paradise by Weird Al?
I mean, that's been a long time ago, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
probably have. I mean, Weird Al was popular back, when I was listening to all kind of music like that. So I know a
Okay.
lot of his stuff. So
Okay. Well,
if I heard it, I would probably recognize it.
okay. Well, we don't want you to get DCMA'd. So I'm not going to play it for you. But basically though, most of the stuff he says in that song is true about the Amish. And funny enough, the Amish do play paintball.
Really?
Yes, that
Oh, I wouldn't have
you
guessed
sometimes
that.
yeah, that you sometimes get some bachelor parties and or work groups like they want to blow off some steam. And it's not electrical that you're using 98 customs and stuff like that and Valken Blackhawks. So
Yeah.
it's 100% mechanical, all
Right.
pneumatic.
Right.
So it's kosher by that stance.
Sure.
So you get them out and slinging paint at each other, and
Oh,
then
that's wild. Okay. So
yeah,
you refed a lot of this stuff.
I did. And a funny story, we were playing speedball. We had about 25, yeah, like 24, 25 people on speedball. And so, someone's like this, bunkers right here. Someone's like this peeking out. BB paintball hits the bunker, splatters some paint on the mask. No one's dead at this point, by the way.
Right.
Splatter on the mask. Amish guy takes off the mask.
Oh my God.
And I yell ceasefire, 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 cover them. I'm like, why'd you take off your mask? It's oh, I got some splatter on my mask. I'm like, dude, you gotta keep that mask on. And then not 5 minutes later, someone did the exact same thing. We yelled ceasefire again. Ugh,
Oh
that
Lord.
that was horrible. Um, and then
Do they not? They didn't understand the rules when you guys went over like one of the most important things on the field. Do not take off your mask.
I don't know. I honest to God don't know.
Oh, that's
um,
wild.
but another wild story that I always tell. I'm trying to I'm trying to phrase it the right way so you don't get canceled. Um, there were have you seen the Blues Brothers?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay, so if you pick up on pun down, there were a bunch of decent, law-abiding white folk just like you that came and played paintball. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was one guy that rolled up on a motorcycle. Cool. He has his own gun. Tank was out of hydro. Well, he was chill as hell. Then a couple more people roll up on motorcycles, and a couple more people, and eventually we had 40 bikers
Yeah.
of a certain biker gang that followed a
Rock it
certain
out, brother.
ideology. Yeah. They were chill and they followed the rules and everything.
Sure.
But during lunch they took off their shirts and everything and they had some very identifying tattoos.
Yeah, yeah.
And me and the other ref were eating lunch near them, and then one ref that was a chick, not naming any names, walks up and says, "God, I hate that certain group."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Shh, shh, do you know who they are? Do you know who they are?" And these were like burly, yeah, like burly motorcycle
Oh,
guys
yeah.
that would probably kill you. Do you
Right.
know who they are? um, so that scared the hell out of us.
I'm
And then
sure.
at the end of the day, the owner was like, "Hey, make sure they return all their equipment." And I was like, "Are you sure you want me to tell them to return the equipment?" So I was a 19-year-old. I was scared shitless.
Sure, yeah.
And there's
I'm
one
sure
guy
everything was
left.
fine. I'm sure they
Yeah,
were respectful and everything was cool.
oh, they were very respectful, but there
Hmm.
was one guy. I was like, "Hey, can you please return your equipment?" He was lighting up a cigarette, fucking, or stares me dead in the eye, like ready to kill me. I'm like, "After you finish your cigarette," he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then so we get all their equipment clean and everything. I go home, and then my dad, who's also a big fan of the Blues Brothers,
Yeah.
he's like, "Hey, Frank, how was your day?" I was like, "Well, I refed a bunch of decent, law-abiding white folk, just like you." And he was like, "Oh, you refed a bunch of that certain group." And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Yeah."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's one of my good refing stories.
Yeah, that's funny,
um,
man. Yeah, you probably get it in that area. Yeah, I was just thinking about that because Pennsylvania, Northeast Ohio, where I grew up, there were definitely a lot of Amish in the
mhm.
area, not too far from where I grew up. So I knew of them. I knew about the like the horse and carriage stuff. I mean, I knew some basics and knew about the awesome furniture that they make, okay?
Yep, yep,
That'll last like 1,000 years. And
yep. That's my desk, or that's
uh,
basically who made it.
and definitely have a few hands to help move it because it's heavy. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. But yeah, that's wild being at a paintball field like that. I think paintball is probably different than airsoft is in the last 10 years because you get a broader variety of people and groups because there's a lot of companies over the last 10 years that have said, hey, we gotta do these team building things. They didn't used to
Hmm.
do that, right? They didn't used to. I mean, my father-in-law, he worked at BF Goodrich
Hmm.
from the time he was 17, okay, just out of high school.
Hmm.
17, he goes to work for BF Goodrich, worked that job until Michelin bought him out. Michelin buys him out. BF Goodrich was up in Akron, Ohio,
Oh, I didn't
brings him
know
down.
that.
Yeah, in 92, 91, 92, Michelin buys out BF Goodrich,
Oh, okay.
brings in their headquarters, they set up their headquarters here in South Carolina, okay,
Hmm.
Greenville, South Carolina. They move all these people from Ohio down there that,
Hmm.
like including my father-in-law and mother-in-law, moved all these families down here to work in the headquarters for Michelin. And, he worked for Michelin until he retired. And so from 17 until, that these kind of corporate jobs didn't have these team, quote unquote, team building events. Okay. He never went on stuff like
Hmm.
that. They had, intramural kind of sports, right? They'd start their own
Yeah.
bowling leagues or their own softball leagues or shit like that.
Yeah.
But where it was just an excuse to go out and get drunk after work. And but in the last 10 years, I feel like a lot of companies have gone with these team building events, and paintball has been a really good thing, an option for them because it's not too expensive. Anyone can
Yeah.
go do it,
Yeah.
and yeah, not expensive for corporate, to
Yeah.
fund out like, okay,
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you seen the case price of paint lately?
it's expensive for me and you, bro, but
Yeah.
for these guys that are like, okay, they don't have to spend anything on travel. They can get these guys out of the office, go play, guys, girls, whoever, go whatever
Hmm.
ages, just go out there and get on the paintball field and have fun. And it's great for
Yeah.
competition. It blows off steam. You forget about all the freaking office drama and all the bullshit that's going on at work. And maybe you even become friends with somebody that you hated in the office, right? Because
Hmm.
they're your teammate, or maybe they're on the opposite team and they shoot the shit out of each other and you get some welts and you go shake hands and now you're cool, right? And
Yeah.
that's the essence of camaraderie and building camaraderie. So I think paintball fields really saw a lot of a huge variety of types of people and groups as opposed to airsoft, right? Where
Hmm.
they don't really have that. Like most companies don't send their their teams, to go out
Employees.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
team building stuff. It's not I think because it's not as popular. I don't know, but
Well, I just want to say that
yeah,
with paintball over the past 10 years, it has been on the decline
right.
on like just normal players going out
Yeah.
there and throwing paint around,
Hmm.
but it's been steady for private groups. Like it's weird. It's like paintballs like this going down, airsoft's
Right.
going like this
Yep.
for individuals.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like if I went to ref, it's the majority of groups are paintball groups
Yeah.
because they see it on TV. They've probably seen it on ESPN2. back in the day, back when
I
it was a
sure
pro
did.
league.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, they've seen it in that one Office sitcom, not The Office. I forget which one, but they had an entire season because it was a big paintball war.
Oh,
I forget what show it was,
okay.
but
If you remember, send me a link to it because I never used to be into watching shows or YouTube.
mhm.
Okay, but now I'm hooked on YouTube and shows, so I'm always looking for something new to get into.
Yep. But it was a TV show, so you probably gotta go to one of the million streaming services now to find it. But
Bro, it's so crazy. Yeah.
but but yeah, it's Airsoft is more in the US cultural zeitgeist than anything. Um Airsoft is, as we all know, it's from Japan and Asia and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that it's making its way over, but it's not as big here as paintball was. It's getting there. It's getting big, but it's still a niche. Like if you go over to somewhere like the Czech Republic, it's huge. Like there's
Yeah.
games like 2, 3, 4,000 people with tanks and stuff like that. Like that's
Bro,
awesome.
they go
Germany,
all
dark,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
Germany, Dark Emergency.
Hmm.
Um, and then I think it's National Airsoft Fest
Dude, in the
in
UK,
in the UK. I will
three,
say
four
something.
thousand people.
Well, I will say something about that. So I have a buddy of mine, Cue Ball, or shoot, I think
Yeah,
is
cue ball.
yeah, Cue Ball.
Yeah.
That we were talking the other day.
Shout out cue ball.
Shout
Yeah.
out Cue Ball that he's
He's
in
been on here a
Ireland.
couple times. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Alan's a good guy.
Yep.
But
Alan
but we
McCrum.
yeah, Alan McCrum. um But he told me about this one place, I think in Cornwall, that's in like a quarry that's
Yeah.
like just pitch black. You go a mile into the mountain. That's I gotta try that someday if I ever go to the UK. But back to Airsoft Fest, that he was telling me that people are actually starting to boycott that because of the ticket price, because it was
Oh.
lower before COVID, and then they jacked the price up
Oh,
or something like
okay.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Europe, yeah, Europe, Asia, like that's where Airsoft is. That's the bread and butter. Here, it's a completely different culture from what I've
Yeah.
been hearing. And like we gotta like it's a matter of just introducing new people into the sport. And
Sure.
I think we're at a point where like we're in a slump of new players. Like every so often it's like a bunch of new players in a slump, and
Yeah.
it's a wave. It's a wave. It's a sine
It's
wave.
waves. It's the yeah, the noobs. It's like the wave of noobs and it's popular and then it's slows down or whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um
The rise
but
of
yeah,
the
that
rentals. It's one of the guys I talked with. I think it was first responder airsoft. He's out
mhm.
of Tennessee. He plays with all these guys out there in Tennessee. He knows Houdini and all these guys that run out there,
Mhm.
and Akimbo and all these guys. Well, he said on his podcast when him and I were talking, he said exactly the same thing. Airsoft goes in waves, and he's been playing for
Mhm.
like 10 years. He's like,
Yeah.
Airsoft goes in waves. It's like the rise of the rentals, and then it kind of tapers off, and then the rise of the rentals. He goes, and right now we're in the rise of the rentals areas.
Yeah. Yeah, that I know when I look at the rental wall, like where all the rental guns are stored at Ambush,
Yeah.
most of the time that's empty.
Mm.
So all the rentals are being used. So it's like,
Wow.
yeah, we're probably in that time, but it
Hmm.
always gets close to slumping
Yeah.
sometimes. Um it was real like Airsoft was like insanely popular right after all the lockdowns lifted, like
Yes.
Operation Downfall, I think it was Downfall 7 or Downfall 8, that had roughly 500 players, and that was right after the COVID lockdowns
Right.
ended. And then after that year, it's been normal,
Hmm.
slowly growing, but still roughly normal. But shoot, what was I going to say? I completely lost my train of thought.
I apologize, man. Sometimes I sidetrack it
That's all right.
with my
Well,
interjections of weird thoughts and
yeah. It's kind of like if you've seen Fallout, what the ghoul says, new golden rules, thou shalt always be sidetracked by stupid
yes.
stuff. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's a
I
great
just
show too.
yeah, that and being a part of the small community of, I like to call it LARPsoft, like
Yeah.
people that do post-apocalypse airsoft events,
Yep.
like people were like, "Oh my God, I gotta watch this, I gotta watch this." It was fun. It was fun watching that show. Um and getting all the little minutia and references. Even like not playing the game. Like I don't play Fallout, but I go to all these events, I know the lore and everything. Like it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Um oh, we were talking about the rise of paintball and or the rise of
Yes.
airsoft, decline of paintball and everything. That's where
Yep.
we were. Um, but yeah, at Ambush though, a paintball walk on, you might get on a good day 50 people,
Hmm.
and 40 of them are renting guns.
Right.
Um, an airsoft walk on, a meh day, 150 people. An
Wow.
okay day, 200 people. A good day, 300 people.
Yeah. It's definitely growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really has
Um,
been growing.
yeah, and that's because of Call of Duty, Battlefield,
Yes. Kicking
and
Mustang, like
Picking Mustang.
Silo,
Hmm.
Balahac's videos are awesome. Like he used to do, I think that's what he used to do, or still does, is videography. Like he's into media. He
Yeah.
was, he did media for a company or something like that, and he's very good at it. I mean, look at all his Swamp Sniper stuff was doing really well years ago. Like
Hmm.
still is, but I mean, he was focused mainly on that before he started
Yeah.
doing all these events.
Well, he was doing the events parallel
Hmm.
to the social media thing, but he pretty much handed off. I don't want to speak for him, but he handed off a lot of his social media stuff to Mike. I forget Mike's last name,
Yeah.
but yeah, that
Somebody told me
Mike.
about him to reach out to him because yeah, I remember
Yeah,
them saying something about it.
he's a good guy. I mean, I don't know if he would be able to because he is an employee at Valhack,
Yeah, I mean he's
but
very
as
busy and yeah,
yeah, but as on a personal level though, I talked to him a couple times that he's good. He's a good guy.
yeah,
Um, everyone at Valhack's a good guy. I mean, there's always going to be one or two refs at a field that are
sure.
on a power trip. That's every single
It's
field,
everywhere you go, bro.
everywhere
Not
you
not even
go.
an airsoft. Just it's not exclusive to airsoft or paintball. Like that's anything and
Yeah,
anywhere. Like that's just
yeah,
somebody's ego getting in the way. You're gonna have that.
yeah. But most of the refs there are awesome. And also the role playing cast for his events are awesome. That do you follow any of his stuff or any of the Valhack events?
Yeah,
Okay, so you know the mayor for the town, for the Wilds, like that's been the mayor for 2 years.
yeah.
Yeah, the woman, Micah, she's a good friend of mine. That
Okay.
funny enough, so for Rev 12, yeah, Rev 12, I wanted to make something that tied into the Wilds. Even though I don't go to the Wilds, I wanted to make a tradable to tie into that game.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need the signature of the woman to make it official on a certificate. And someone, Tyler Carter, if you're watching this, thank you, that he actually hooked me up and made the connection.
Nice.
And he got me all the addresses and everything to send her these certificates for her to sign, put a wax seal on,
Nice.
um, to add to this trade because it was the last railroad spike in the Ballahack Railroad, and I was like,
Mm.
I'm gonna trade this off to Candyman because
Oh, that's awesome.
CJ, CJ C7 Viper really likes that stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that, and he was like, "Dude, that's awesome. It's going to happen in the wilds." I'm like, I gave Micah, yeah, I actually gave Micah a version, or actually made three of them. Gave her one and the certificate, and I custom made a box and everything.
Oh
So
shit.
she did it in the wilds after the Rev event.
Oh wow.
So it was kind of like a prequel sequel kind of deal. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it was a lot to pull off, but it was awesome. It was very satisfying, just to see it happen. And then I got the survival items I needed to get into a vault. And then I got stolen, or I got the survival items stolen, in-game stolen. So I was like, all my efforts went to crap. So
That's like the Secret Santa thing, man. It's like you get this great thing and then somebody takes it. You're like, ah,
that's White Elephant, I think.
white elephant. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I only ever did one of those, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have a good time because I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Well, obviously I don't like it because I don't even remember which one it is. Like I don't like either of them.
I mean, Secret Santa is cool
Yeah,
until you get the cheapskate that gets you like a $5 gift
that's
card
usually what
when,
happens.
yeah, it's like Merry Christmas
Yeah.
that you spend like $50 on your gift. No, you're getting $5.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but still you can't get a lot with $50 anymore. Like
No.
if you look at Airsoft, like Airsoft prices, like everything's gone up since the pandemic. Um, but I will say though that Umarex, Elite Force, Falcon, I think KWA, some of the prices actually went down since
Yeah.
the end of all the craziness. Like stuff is starting to stabilize.
Well, not only
Uh,
stabilize, but I think a lot of these companies or some of these companies are really starting to wise up. Like they're seeing the trends. Okay, with
mhm,
there's those the group of people that really want custom builds.
mhm,
So they're going to drop the money. They got the money. They this is their priority to get a custom build. They're going to spend 2 grand. Okay,
mhm,
and then the majority of airsofters that are into airsoft for the first 6 months, it's like they're brand new, 6 months to a
mhm.
year. The AAPO one is awesome. Okay, it's
Yes.
$99. I think it's still that.
110. It's 110.
Okay, 110, like
Yeah.
right around $100. And it's a great shooting gun out of the box. Okay,
Full auto out of
yeah,
the box.
yep, full auto. And they fixed that little issue they had with the hammer break-in. Okay, for
Oh,
the
they
first
did.
run. Yeah, then they put the new they upgrade they they got different hammers for them. They're made with different material.
That's news to me because
That's what I heard.
I keep telling
Oh
people
shit, maybe I said the wrong
replace the
thing.
hammer.
Okay.
What?
I don't know. Maybe I did hear that they switched it and started making them with some other material or getting a supplier that made them with some other material instead of the original one. So
Okay.
they still break?
I don't know that
Oh,
I've
okay.
been telling people since day one, replace the hammer if you're going to
Well, we
use
did too.
HPA.
When we did the
Yeah.
review on it, we were like, yeah, just go ahead and get this type of, I think it was a cow or something.
Yeah, cow.
Yeah. So,
Um,
okay. Well, I retract it until I can figure out somebody out there figure it out. Go out there and look. So I don't look like a fool out here. Somebody's gonna get one and go, it's brand new. Look, it was manufactured 2 days ago and breaks.
yeah. Well, someone needs to do another burn down on them because I
Yeah.
know US Airsoft did burn down and he got through like not 4,000 rounds, maybe I forget it was around less than 10,000 before
Yeah.
the hammer broke.
Okay.
And that's the notorious issue with one of those APs that funny enough, I got one of the first batches or I got an AP in the first batch that came to the US.
Yeah.
Um and I had that issue and I replaced it with a steel hammer and it's been okay
Yeah.
ever since.
Yeah, they're
Um
good. That's an option for cheap gun, just starter guns
yeah.
that are decent, right? That are good. You got Lancer Tactical is coming out with that. I don't know if they just came out with it or they're coming out with the what's the one that Bondo told me about on our podcast? It's a Speedsoft setup. Okay.
Okay.
So it's geared for Speedsoft, and I can't remember the version, the model of it, but those are, I mean, it's got a ton of good features in it right out of the
Hmm.
box and for less than $200, he said. So, bro, that's impressive. Like all the things that
Yeah.
he was talking about that were in it, like there's some options out there where some of these companies are kind of catering to the starter
Hmm.
airsofter. Like you could run this for, a while before you have to
Yeah.
do anything to it.
Yeah, I know Specna comes out with a lot of good offerings for beginners. Like you get the Flex series or the Core series, and they're solid builds.
Yeah.
And they're coming out now. They're starting to come out with the Gate XDR, just straight out of the box for like 169. I'm like, I'm ready to like message Charlie. Sorry, excuse me. I'm ready to hit up Charlie on Discord or Instagram. I'm like, hey, look, is this a mistake?
Right.
Some that cheap with a MOSFET straight out of the box,
Hmm.
like that's unheard of. Because the Falcon ASL combo battery and charger, that's 200,
Yeah.
and that's just your standard like a Gen 1 G&G compact machine copy essentially.
Right.
So I mean, Airsoft has gone a long way with
Uh-huh.
that, and I'm glad that new players are getting decent guns to start out with.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I I started out with basically it was a Matrix M4 that was front wired with a weird handguard that sucked. So I mean, I'm jealous of new players nowadays that they got all the bells and whistles.
They're
I had to
spoiled,
use.
bro.
They're spoiled. Yeah, exactly.
Like
So
they'll never know what it's like to try to cram your battery and your wires into the front handguard. Freaking
yeah,
sucks.
that's horrible.
Like, is there
Now they
anyone out there that thinks that wiring it to the front is a good idea? Like,
um Para 249, yeah, 249s with para stocks.
okay, yeah,
That makes sense, but I
yeah,
mean you
for
just
sure.
HPA it.
Yeah.
Shorty M4s that don't have a stock, well, you just might as well HPA it.
Yep. Yeah,
Are you seeing
anything
the
that's
trend?
front
Yeah,
wired, bro, just HPA,
just
okay?
HPA
For
it.
real. Those the AKs that had the wonky cover on the top that you had to pop off to get the dude, there it was so difficult to get stuff in there and where you could actually snap it down and get it to lock. It was such a pain in the ass.
Well, some of those are hit and miss. Like the SEMA ones are good. The
Yeah,
Lancer ones I've had issues with. LCT's good. E&L's good.
yeah.
I
What
mean
did we get that
it's
was
hit and
the
miss.
Arcturus AK was awesome.
Hmm. I've never really dealt with anything Arcturus that
Yeah.
but when I think about it,
When
my
I say
gun
awesome, I
ownership's
don't know
been
how it shot.
yeah,
We tested it. That was it. Like a
yeah.
couple of mags, that was it. But as far as like how the gun was built, it was heavy. It felt real, right?
Hmm.
Like a real steel type. And yeah, so
Yeah, that I mean, I've been pretty narrow with what I have or what I bought.
yeah.
I've only had like three AKs, really. Like a SEMA RPK or no, four. Two SEMA AKs that were side folders. I sold them. A SEMA RPK that broke down on me, and then a Franken build that I bought off of a buddy because he needed money. That ran well. It actually ran super well. I just needed to sell it because I needed money.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to run AK.
Most people don't run them. Like
Well,
they'll
I
have
know.
them here and there, but they like if they go to a big event, one of the guys said, the reason this is what we'll take and this is what we'll take for backups. And it's great to run, have some different guns to run here and there to try out at smaller
Mhm,
events or, one day kind of thing or open play. But the big events, we take the standard M4 style because we can all
mhm.
swap mags if we run out. We can all like it, we can share that kind of thing. And it's just a lot easier, man.
Yeah, it's also easier if you have a team like, hey, we all want to buy a bunch of mags, or hey, we all want to buy a bunch of BBs, and we all have the same setup.
Oh,
I actually
for
did that.
real.
My team that I was able to go through my shop and get a whole case of HPA 32s.
Mm,
Me and three other guys chipped in for the case,
yep.
and we all got 5 bottles each out of a case of 20, and I ran through all 5 bottles with an LMG. So
Nice.
and some other people run LMGs as well, so that's kind of why I got it.
Yeah.
But it, it makes sense when you start standardizing a bunch of kits because it just helps you out in the future.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, trying to think here. The wackiest gun I owned was a micro gun. I can say that
Really?
definitively. Yeah, I had a micro gun for a little bit.
Okay.
It had a little bit of an air leak, but
Mm.
the guy told me if I wanted to, I can go ahead and get the shark bite fittings to fix it. I was like, I just don't have enough time on my hands to do that. And it leaked barely, so I mean, I
Okay.
was able to get away with it. And I eventually traded for a 249 and $300, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But I
249s are solid, bro.
Yeah, they are.
Hmm.
Especially when you get them custom built by my shop, Jackal. That I have a jack in mine. I know I should get an F2, but I
Yeah.
have a jack in mine, bull gear hop up, and I have a custom 7,000 round box mag that's wireless.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I I am going to put out gameplay of the most recent event I was at, Downfall 10, and I was running that 249. But a good hour of it was me holding one position, holding a bomb, and I was just suppressing like three guys who
Yep.
couldn't move. And I was like, I have 7,000 rounds. I can sit here all day. Do,
Yep.
do, 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 do.
Burst fire, burst fire,
Exactly.
burst fire.
Exactly. And then I got him and he was like, hey, we thought you were going around with ammo. I open it up and it's half empty. And they're like, oh damn.
Yeah, all day, bro. I got all day.
All day.
Yeah, especially when you're doing covering fire, because that's if you're smart and you know how to do covering fire, suppressive fire, and that
Hmm.
is what you were doing. So that is like if all you're doing is keeping them behind cover. All you're
Yeah.
doing is preventing them from inching forward. So
Hmm.
or flanking you or whatever. Like and you don't have to do much. Like a few, if they're behind some kind of hard cover, just smack that thing a few times and they hear it. They're like, oh, they're gonna back up.
Metal.
Yeah,
If you
metal
hit metal,
rings
that's
out
loud.
loud, bro.
Yeah.
Connex boxes are great for that.
Oh my God. That I don't play with Connex box, or I don't play out of field with Connex boxes a lot. But when I do, oh my God, it's just so loud. Someone shoots, it's like, oh.
This sounds like a meme. You know the guy that is like the most interesting man in the world
Yes,
picture,
yes, the
that
Dos
where he's
Yeah,
like this, with the glass of Modelo or Dos Equis or whatever it
Dos
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dos Equis. Yeah, that sounds like a meme. I don't
yeah.
always play at fields with Connex boxes, but when I do,
I'm scared shitless.
and you have the sound of all the BBs hitting the side of it, that's
Yeah.
loud as shit. Yeah, that's funny.
Um, but yeah, that was going through too many BBs that meant because
Yeah.
that 249s put a hurt. Yeah, 249s hurt the wallet. It doesn't
Oh
hurt
yeah,
anywhere except where like your left leg or your right leg
it really
or
is.
your hip. Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, they're expensive. Christian, our eldest son, he had
Mhm,
one built like special, and I can't remember. I can never remember which brand it was, but he had it. It was full on metal, like real heavy. It was 11 or 12 pounds, and
mhm,
empty. And then he had a
mhm,
box mag, same thing, 5 or 7 thousand round box mag. The box mag had, it was battery operated, and
mhm.
he'd turn it on, and I guess he had a feature on there where it was fed by sound or something.
Yeah,
Is that
so
what it would do?
you're probably thinking of the regular plastic box mags. Those are 2,500 rounds.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
plastic one.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so
Um,
he would turn it on, it would self feed, like he didn't have to, you know, crank it or nothing. I mean, well, the reason I'm saying that is because when we started doing our channel, we had some drum mags that were like for the Tommy gun or something like that, and it
mhm.
was you had to wind it,
Yeah,
right? And but it was a big, nice drum mag.
yeah, yeah.
Then he got
That
that one and it was automatic. I was like, oh dude, auto feeds, that's awesome.
yeah, and it gets better when it's wireless and 7,000 rounds that fills the negative space that is otherwise unused.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that it gets heavy, but it's fun. Um,
Yeah, but you're not supposed to be running around carrying it either. You're supposed to post up somewhere and lay down suppressive fire.
Wait, I didn't know that. I was running around all day with it. No,
Right?
actually, actually though,
Your arms
I
would
was
know it. I promise you that, because your biceps will be burning, bro.
well, sling. I had a sling, so it wasn't that bad. But um, at the beginning of that event, though, I was op four.
Yeah.
Before we went on to the normal team, and we were set up in at the castle at EMR. I came up with the idea like a couple or like a month or two before the event. Hey, we got between us or all the people on the team like 6 or 7 LMGs. Let's all run LMGs to this event, and everyone was down for it. And then some people were like, "I want to run SMG," and I was like, "All right." So we had like 5 LMGs and no 5 LMGs, 2 SMGs, then 2 regular rifles defending this castle, and it wasn't squad based. Usually a squad based game you have maybe 1 LMG a squad.
Right.
So having like four LMGs and then two other guns that could shoot full auto,
That's
that
crazy.
was
Did anyone
crazy.
even get close?
Oh, they eventually got close. They eventually overran us because it was only nine guys.
Okay.
But nine guys versus like 300.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes a big difference.
yeah.
That's kind of
But
cool though. I like that.
but I threw an amp on my gun because I 3D print. I threw an
Okay.
amp on my gun and I was just like, brr, and it was loud as hell. And no one got close to me on my side till I got hit from the back or someone snuck around and shot me in the back of the leg.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That does help too, the sound. This
Yeah.
one of the guys I talked with, I forget what country he was in. It was I can't remember where it was at, man. It was somewhere in Europe, but he was
Hmm.
talking about that him and his buddy had gas blowback rifles,
Hmm.
MP7s, and they
Hmm.
were in a abandoned, I think it was a school, high school or something like that,
Hmm.
and they were on either side of these lockers. So, in the hallway, you got lockers, then you have doors, and then doorways, and then lockers. So they were behind the lockers, like in the doorways. They're shooting down the hallway, all the way down, and the hallway's dark.
Hmm.
There's a little bit of light coming through some of the doorway build, windows and stuff. And when they got up there and started shooting, there was a whole team on the other side trying to push forward. And when they both got side by side on either side of the hallway and started shooting down there with these gas blowback rifles, bro,
Hmm.
they said it was so loud. The other team just turned around and ran back to the like another like intersection hallway to hide behind all this stuff because it was like they were freaking out. But yeah, sound helps sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of sound and gas blowbacks and loudness
Yeah.
or amps,
Uh-huh.
so have you seen The Simpsons, like where Homer goes and buys a goes and buys a gun?
Huh.
Okay, so Homer buys a gun for self-protection for the house, and the guy behind the counter is like showing him all the accessories, like speed cocker, loudener, suppressor, da da. I was like, yeah, that seems funny as hell. And then someone approached me and said, "Hey, I want a amp on my gun that looks like horns that one of the horns they use at the World Cup."
Oh, okay.
Just as a joke, I was like, "Okay." So I print it. That's loud as hell. And then he says, "I want it bigger."
Oh
So
my
I'm like,
God.
"You want it bigger?
How
I'll
big
make
was
it
the
bigger."
opening when you first
It
printed
was
it?
like, oh, when I first printed, like maybe
Like
this big.
inch and a half, 2 inches? Okay.
Yeah, when you wanted the louder, I think it was like 7 inches big, like this.
Whoa.
So I threw it on a Canon TP9 that I had, and it was just like it was super loud. It was like blah blah.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
I shot it once in my laundry room that was small,
Yeah.
or that's a small laundry room, just to see what it would do. My ears were ringing. Yeah, it was that loud. I was like,
Oh
yeah, he's gonna be
shit.
happy.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, so yeah,
Now, what
then
color did
he
you print? Just black,
a
like to,
black.
yeah, to blend in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also black and white are the strongest materials. If you get anything else, it's not strong.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you ever want to do 3D printing and you want it to last long, print it black, then rattle can it.
Hmm.
Um, but I hate to switch topics, but one thing I
No,
do
go
want to
ahead.
bring up,
Yeah.
you remember PewDiePie that he was on the podcast a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Shout out Ryan.
and yeah, shout out Ryan that you serious shout out to him. I haven't shouted him out enough that he gave me a night vision recorder, a
Oh
brain
shit.
exploder night vision recorder. Yeah, that I owe him a favor for that. But
Nice.
he he was going to do a bunch of stuff in night vision, and
Yeah.
then he decided not to, and he didn't have any use for it, so he gave it to me. I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, because now I can record stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Like I have a PVS 14, yeah, PVS 14, so I can
Okay.
do night vision content now, but
Oh, dude,
I've
that's
just
cool.
I just haven't had any luck with it though, unfortunately. Just
Oh,
it either falls off or I don't get any action
yeah.
or stuff like that.
Sure.
But and he did shout me out on this that I was helping him out with the CPSC stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah, that when that Fed rolled into the server, that got crazy.
Dude. Yeah. That was a wild, interesting thing that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't want it to happen again,
for
but
sure.
I'm glad I was able to help out.
Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about that with that Fed coming in and all the repercussions he had from it, and
Yeah.
that was crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was like a should I kick him? Should I not kick him? Should we do we think he's a troll? Do we think he's trying to fish people? Stuff like that, and then trying to get it, and like Ryan said, trying to get us into a government, essentially a government WebEx Zoom
Mm,
call like that. That was like, yeah, that's raising red flags because they can see just about everything, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. That was just crazy.
that is crazy, man. Yeah.
um, but I'm glad to do that stuff for the. I'm glad to help out the community where I can.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that was like one of the only times I could have really done that. And yes, people were calling me fear mongering, and I almost got kicked out of a couple servers on Discord over
Really?
that. Yeah, because I pinged everyone. I'm like, hey, this is important, and most of the admins were like, hey, look, don't do it again. We understand the severity of the situation. You get a pass. So
Hmm.
so yeah, that there were a lot of people cool with it. I know Obsidian Order. I think you had them on Heavy Recoil Club. I think you had them on too.
Yeah.
They were chill with it.
Okay.
Um,
I
but
think I do remember something about this, seeing some posts or something about fear mongering. I don't, yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, that I mean, I'm glad nothing happened, and I think because of our action, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Um, but then it's like if nothing positive or negative happens, then it's like, oh, they're just fear mongering. If something good or bad happens, then it's like, oh, they
Oh,
said the
right,
right
right.
thing.
I got you.
Yeah, and then if if nothing happened this time and then they try to do it again, then it's gonna be like, oh, we're fear mongering again. It's the boy who cried wolf.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, it's always
Yeah.
a looming issue
I'm
because
starting to
airsoft's in a
remember
gray area.
now that whole thing. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember seeing some posts about that. I know my thing was I was uh I think I was kind of harsh about some of that. Not the fear mongering thing, I don't think,
Hmm.
but about the some kind of form letter or email or something. It kind of, I don't know why, man. I be honest, I was in a weird headspace at the time, but
Hmm.
personally, nothing to do with
Hmm.
airsoft, nothing to do with the podcast, nothing to do with whatever was going on with that.
Yeah.
And I remember
Excuse
being
me.
really laser focused on this the form letter email or whatever we were sending in, and
Hmm.
it really bothered me. Like there were some things I would get on a tangent in my
Hmm.
personal life, even just where I would just be angry, bro, about one little thing. And this was a carryover from when I was on steroids and stuff. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you, you
Hmm.
know, like where it came from. A lot of these times, uh, it was really amplified when I was on steroids, when I was recovering, and
Hmm.
I would have roid rages about
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm everything's fine. Everything's totally fine. Like no problems. We're talking. Let's say we could, you and I could be talking. We're
Hmm.
having a great time talking, and you say one little thing, the wrong. Maybe you say the word the wrong way.
Or the
Like
wrong inflection. Yeah.
you say often instead of often, or vice versa. And I'll be like sitting here just stewing over that for so, and then I can't even control myself. I'll start saying some negative shit about it. Like, why do you say it like that?
Hmm.
What happened? And then I would just amp up and amp up and ramp up. My youngest daughter, she actually moved out. She moved out halfway through her high school senior year because
Hmm.
of me acting like that. But anyway, it was pretty bad. I still had a lot of that stuff, like the last couple years, where somebody would message me on here, and even for the podcast or for a video or something like that, and I wouldn't respond back because I would be telling my son, look at what they can you believe this, like what, and they're like, dad, they didn't do anything wrong, like they're not even saying anything bad, and I'm like, I mean, I would get crazy, bro. So
Hmm.
I think I remember that was one Like I was so angry about this form letter. I don't know why. I apologize to anyone that I was harsh with or whatever. I don't even know. There's a lot of stuff I don't remember, to be honest,
Mhm.
unless it was brought to my attention. But I do remember that now. Like this form letter email thing, it irritated the crap out of me. In fact, I think I said something to Death Row Airsoft so
Mhm.
much that he sent me a message one day, like after that, was like, "Hey, did I do something to piss you off?" And I was like, "I don't think so. Why?" Because I really didn't have something against him, and I probably did that with a handful of people, to be honest, and I don't even realize it. But anyway, I do remember
Yeah.
that whole blow up. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, that and just say I know what you're going through because my mom that she just had to get some steroids, she had to get some President for something, and it
Okay,
was like just I say one thing, and it was just hell for 3 days.
really?
Yeah, that I mean I think she had oh no she had an arthritis flare up and she
Yeah,
needed prednisone, and I said one thing and it was just switch,
yeah,
and it was like I'm staying locked in my room or I'm getting out of the house or something like that,
right.
like just to get away from her. But
Okay.
I know what you went through.
Well, the thing was, the weird thing was, and I'm not trying to derail this whole conversation to this thing. I don't, whatever. But when the
Yeah.
doctor said, "Hey, I'm going to give you this prednisone, blah blah blah," and they were talking about, side effects, are like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to have, be hungrier, you're going to your body's going to hold water, so you're going to swell up, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And there was no talk about it affecting mood or emotion at all. And but when I talk to people that have been on it, like patients
Hmm.
and people that I know that have been on it for any length of time, that's the first thing they say is the roid rage type of thing, like that they can't even
Yeah.
control their temper. And I'm going, why the frick don't they tell you that? When I would have been like, no, hell no, I don't want to take this, because I was already kind of a hyper amped up kind of person anyway. Like it just
Yeah.
amplified all that shit. And I was already like mad that I was paralyzed. So I'm like, dude, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah. Trying to find our topic. Do.
I know, right?
But
Do, do,
yeah.
do. But yeah, that whole thing with Ryan. Well, he just messaged me the other day,
Hmm.
Cutie Rye, and
Yeah.
he said he just, like, last week. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And
Hmm.
I asked him how his hand is doing, because I don't know if you heard the podcast, but he
His
messed up
hand
his
was messed
hand.
up.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So he said it's getting better, real slowly, but yeah, hopefully he gets better quickly.
Yeah, because I know he really wants to go out and play,
Hmm.
and there's a bunch of cool events and a bunch of cool AOs, like GTI or Operation Draco. That's going to be September 17th, I think,
Yeah.
16th through the 18th. Um,
Yeah,
and
right
that's
around the
like
20th. That's
yeah,
Otherworld Milsim, right?
yep, that's the other one, Milsim at GTI.
Yep.
Um,
That's the one I
but
told Paul when I had him on. That's the one I was like, dude, I'll have to look into going to that. I would like to go.
mhm,
And then we're going to Ohio that week, like
yeah,
from Wednesday to Wednesday of that week,
hmm,
because my niece is getting married on that Saturday. So yeah.
hmm. Um, but yeah, I think he really wants to play that one because I mean that's an abandoned nuclear facility. Me, I'm on the fence still. Just gotta figure out some stuff. But I mean, I have a wedding next week. Like I said, I have a wedding next week. The
You're
wedding from
busy
hell.
already, bro.
Yeah, I gotta take a bunch of
Holy
PTO
cow.
for that. If I didn't have
Yeah.
to take PTO for that, I'd be like, yeah, 100%. I'm going to Georgia or South Carolina. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah. You're
speaking
going
of
to have to,
South
because
Carolina,
that's a long drive. It's
that's 10
minimum
hours.
of at least 2 days off, like a Friday
Yeah,
and a Monday. And
yeah,
that's if you're hauling ass. Like that's if
yeah,
you're right, like getting all your gear ready. And but typically it's going to be, you're going to need that Tuesday off or the Thursday off or whatever, like one of those two
yeah. That's
travel.
it's crazy.
Hmm.
But speaking of South Carolina, there's one person from South Carolina, or there was one person from South Carolina I want to bring up that OGKG.
Yeah, man.
That yeah, that's sad. That
Isn't it?
I
It's such a
remember
shocker, bro.
I know, and he was like I tell people, he had so much potential that he just started
Yeah.
doing airsoft stuff. He had a team behind him. He had a bunch of great individuals like Kimbo and Houdini and them,
Yeah.
and he was ready to just roll out and like,
Oh, he was all in, bro.
yeah, he was all in, ready to just like stomp on the scene, and then
Lights out. You
lights
never
out.
know, man. That's, and I don't like to say, oh, this is really serious, like this podcast, right? And the things that you're doing with your channel and the things that we're doing here, this isn't, if somebody out there wants to get their story out, okay, and I feel like this is a great venue to do it in,
Mm-hmm.
this type, it doesn't have to be my podcast, but as far as the airsoft community goes, the paintball community goes, it's such a good group of people in general. Like the majority of people
Mm-hmm.
are such a good group of people that I feel like a lot of people in the general public could learn, and benefit, could learn a lot of positive and benefit from everyone's story. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
even if you are 16, your story is still going to relate to somebody that's 14 or 15. 6 months from now, if you did the podcast, you get your story out there, and it doesn't have to always be personal. You don't have to get super personal in here. You can if you want. Everyone knows this is
Yeah.
like an open, free conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
what a I'm going to tell you a side benefit I didn't realize until this happened with OG. His wife, who wasn't really into the airsoft stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was his thing. This was his hobby, which is a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew about it. She was around it. She was, but she wasn't really involved. Okay, firsthand. But
Mm-hmm.
and not only that, there's two things here. One is she's now getting involved. So
Really?
she maybe not playing, but she knows the airsoft community personally now, because
Yeah.
Houdini and Akimbo went there a couple weekends ago and
Mm-hmm.
took her out to dinner, took her out to breakfast the morning they left, like got to spend time with her. They went to her house and set up OG's room. That it's
Mm-hmm.
like a commemorative kind of setup for her now,
Mm-hmm.
where she goes in there, she can see all the stuff he was passionate about. They helped her get things together that that they could sell or help her sell. And Carolina Void was in there as well.
Yep.
Um, this kind of thing. Like, she is fully immersed in the airsoft community and what it stands for, which is honor and respect.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels the love and respect from this.
Yeah.
And so now she's posting Instagram posts
Mm-hmm.
on, oh, she's keeping his account active.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I think is awesome, man. Like this whole,
Yeah.
and the other thing was, now she has this podcast that him and I did, this 2-hour video where he's talking about personal life, his family
Mm-hmm.
life, how he met her, how they got together, how he recently was able to get with his, meet his mom that he never knew, because he was, he grew up an orphan. And she has that. He was never really into social media. He
Yeah.
wasn't into making videos and putting out, but now she has this thing where she can hear his voice. She can hear what he's talking. She can go back and listen to that anytime. And I told her I can send her, uh, and just this goes out to anyone that's going to hear this. Okay. Yes, I put all of these podcast episodes on every platform out there, audio and video, everything out there. If you just Google Trifecta Airsoft Podcast, you'll find it on everything. I don't even know if it's on, if you can find it not on a certain podcast venue. I'm not sure. But it's on everything. But also, I save a hard copy. Well, not a hard copy, I guess, a digital copy on my own hard drive. Okay. That's
Yeah.
separate from all that. So I save all that. I have backups. Every couple months, I go in and put however many episodes I can fit onto a thumb drive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is so, just so somebody knows, this is like, it's timeless. Okay. So if something happens to somebody and you want to go back and find these people, the stories or whatever, um, you can always reach out to me. You can always, you can always find them. And also another thing too is, the one thing I'm doing recently, that shout out to Maddie Mo and Balrog Zeb for
Mm-hmm.
helping me with this, is in fact, Zeb is the one that gave me the idea on our Discord. I made separate channels on our Discord for each state in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm putting each podcast in there, like a link to the, YouTube video or whatever, for like yours is going to go under Pennsylvania, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and then if wherever somebody's from, if I have them on the podcast, it's going under that particular state. So it'll be
Mm-hmm.
really quick and easy to find if somebody wants to look it up or whatever.
Just real quick, just taking one step back, with the OGKG stuff. Just shout out to Warwolves, Vinny,
Yes.
that he gave Akimbo money to go to the OGKG's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
That was a commitment on a live stream. That just big kudos to him.
Yeah.
Um, and then also, uh, so funny enough, probably a week or two before he passed, that it was you, me, and OG on an Instagram live.
Yeah.
Funny enough,
Yeah.
um, and I promised to fix his GoPro or help him fix his GoPro, or that was a couple weeks before actually.
Yeah.
Um, and we never coordinated a time to get his GoPro fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one big regret that I have with him. That I
Sure.
just never got the GoPro fixed.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
there with you. He had requested another patch, and because he gave the one I gave him, he gave it away. He wanted
Hmm.
another patch and then another transfer sticker because he broke his. It ripped when he was trying to put it on. Transfer sticker it's one, if somebody doesn't know,
Okay.
it's yeah. So they're I'm trying to see where I have one. Uh, it's the kind that I don't know how to describe it. It's not
Like
all
you
solid.
rub?
Yeah, you rub it on, and the way it's printed all there's separate individual pieces put together to make a word or to make a whatever. So maybe
Hmm.
you have separate letters and they're not connected. So
Hmm.
the way you do that is you print this thing and it's stuck on this transfer paper,
Hmm.
and it's almost like a wax paper feeling kind of thing, that's plastic, but
Okay.
it's see-through, and you peel off the backside of it that exposes the uh, adhesive side of the lettering or whatever part of the
Hmm.
sticker you want to stick. You stick it onto, let's say a real common one is the back of your back window on your car. You stick it on there, rub all the bubbles out, right? You rub it real tight, and then you slowly peel off the transfer paper, and then it
Okay.
leaves the empty sticker there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's the way you get. So anyway, we have those made. So our triangle is separate from the T inside of it. And
Hmm.
so I sent him one of those and it ripped, but he wanted me to send him another one. Well, I told him I would do that. And yeah, it was a couple weeks. I didn't send it to him. And then he had messaged me. Matter of fact, the day he died, he messaged me that morning. He saw I was on Instagram. It was like 7 in the morning or 6:30 in the morning. He said,
Hmm.
"Hey, can you send me this sticker?" I was like, "Shit, yeah, I'll do it. I'll box it up today." Matter of fact, I'm going to make this, what I told him in the text. I'm going to make you a box together, put the box together that has all these different stickers and patches that I've had sitting here that I was like waiting for a giveaway to do. And I said, I'm
Hmm.
going to give them all to you since you're all into patches. So I sent him I was boxing this up for him.
Yeah.
The Airsoft dad, Scott, the couple of things from him, skirmish stickers and patch skirmish bracelets, right? I was going to
Hmm.
send him 4 of these kind. These are the kind you have to buy that are
Yeah.
yours to keep, that you can take to every event. I sent him 4. I boxed all this stuff up, wrote him the letter for his podcast. So, since he was on the podcast, wrote him
Hmm.
the handwritten letter that I do that has the red wax seal stamp on it.
Yeah.
And I handwrite those with a quill pen. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Inkwell dip. Right. And then I had the letter. I still got it here. And um, anyway, so I had all this boxing, or I had all the stuff put in this box, and then I went to work, and when I came home, I saw the message from Akimbo, and I hadn't sent the box out yet. It was still open, but
Hmm.
so anyway, I did send that box. I actually might have sent the letter that I sent that I wrote for OG. I might have sent it in that box to Carolina Void. So I told Carolina Void that I would send it to him, and yeah, Ethan.
Hmm.
But yeah. So anyway, I know what you feel, man. I had
Yeah.
all this stuff set up and I was late with it. That was the thing. I should have sent him the patch and sticker like 2 weeks before, but I never
Yeah.
did, man. So yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's out there, and our conversations out there. His a lot of his stuff that he put on his his channel is still going as far as his YouTube or his Instagram
Insta.
page. Yeah,
Hmm.
all that's still going. Shout out to his wife for keeping that going. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah. That I mean, you just live every day to the fullest
Yeah,
because
you don't know.
you never know where he's gonna take you.
That's it, man. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we have a short time on this earth. We really do. And when I didn't, I took a lot of things for granted in life, just like most people. I was
Hmm.
very busy. I was working 70 hours a week in a factory before I got sick. We were raising 5 children that were all 1.5, 2 years apart. They were very close. So we had all these
Hmm.
teenagers in the house. It was crazy. We had, it was busy and we enjoyed it. We had a great time. My wife and
Hmm.
I, to be honest, we were really going through a hard time. In fact, most people don't know this. We were split up. We were separated before I
Oh.
got sick. So we've been married 31 years now, but this is, a few years ago before I started the channel. So I guess 5, 6 years ago, we were separated. I had moved out, and we didn't plan on getting divorced. We just needed some time. I don't know. We were just trying to fix something that we didn't know how to fix.
Hmm.
And so I was moved out. And then when we were able to start talking again towards the end of the summer and going into fall around November, like the first couple weeks in November, I we were talking about me moving back in. And then we planned on it before Thanksgiving
Hmm.
and say, okay, we want to move back in by Thanksgiving or whatever. And then we kind of argued and okay, nope, that ain't happening. So I think it was like the first week of December is when I
Hmm.
started getting paralyzed. But I had just moved, I was just moving back in. And when I moved back in, within 2, 3 days, I went and got a spinal tap. They figured out, okay, this is what we think you have. And then about 3 days after that, I was laying in bed staring at the ceiling, couldn't even talk. So this is how we built or rebuilt our relationship, was me laying there not being able to talk. Oh my gosh. It's like, okay, I felt like I didn't think about this at the time, but looking back on it, I feel like, okay, God said, you're going to stay here and y'all are going to work your shit out. Okay. And you're going to keep your mouth shut so y'all can, I don't know, just for a while. Okay.
Yeah.
It
I was
worked
about to
out,
say
man.
that.
It wasn't easy, but it worked out. But yeah, it really, that situation gave me a different perspective on life, and, and what we do with each day and
Mhm.
how we impact people around the world with our time on this earth. So yeah, it is. I mean, I know. Let's go have fun. Let's go. Be passionate about life. Be passionate and loving and respectful to each other. Uh, we don't have to be all serious all the time. We don't have to think, oh my gosh, I might die tomorrow. But there, we should have a sense of urgency that says, what did you do today to help someone else beside yourself? It's a strong question.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that I mean I try to live every day to the fullest and I try to be as nice as I can be because that why be me when you can do something good for someone?
yeah.
That if that I remember one instance, so I was taking a walk. It was the middle, not the middle of winter. It was kind of springtime, but it was still cold as hell, like 40 degrees out. Because that's all Pennsylvania winters or all Pennsylvania springs.
Springs,
It's
yeah.
you got winter, fall, spring, then you got winter 2.0,
Yes.
and then you got okay spring, and then you got someone turn up the oven. But but um I was walking by or I was doing a lap in my neighborhood and someone was locked out of their house, but I never met the guy. And me knowing, okay, social engineering is a thing. Okay, this guy's trying to lock, he's trying the keypad won't work. I'm like, okay, I think this guy might be
It's
trying to
red
break into the
flags.
house. Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
couple of red flags. He's like, hey, can I borrow your phone? And I'm like, no, you're not borrowing my phone. I don't
Hell
know
no,
you.
bro.
Hell no. But I did feel sorry for the guy.
Sure.
Um, so I came back home, grabbed him a hoodie and some hand warmers. I'm like, hey, I won't give you my phone, but I'll give you this to stay warm.
Yeah. So what was his story?
Cause
Did he tell you like what?
so I found out so I was walking around the neighborhood again. I talked to his father.
Oh,
Um and this guy was like 24, 25 years old. Or no,
okay.
the guy trying to get in was 24, 25 years old. His
Yeah,
father was like in his 50s or 60s.
sure.
So that was actually his son.
Okay.
That he was taking out the trash. He opened the garage door, closed
Uh,
it, and then he went to go try to get back in. The keypad was messed up because of the cold, and he didn't have a key, so he had to wind up breaking a window.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, to get back
So
in.
nobody was home. The
No
parents
one
weren't
was
there.
home. Well, they
Oh,
were
okay.
they were on vacation somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there were no cars in the driveway. That was also no red flag.
Right.
Yeah, so
How
I,
crazy.
I was trying to play it safe, and then
Sure.
he was able to get back in eventually. But
Yeah. Well,
I
you
mean,
did it. Yeah, I
still,
mean, you did what you could do. You helped him.
yeah,
But you're not going to help him break into something if it's not his. Like, you never know.
yeah,
You never know.
exactly. Like, could I help him break into it? Possibly. I can't. I can neither confirm nor deny that. Well, I'll just give you a hint. If you watch the Wishful series on my YouTube channel, you might get a hint. Um, yeah, which is a zombie survival RPG game that I'm a or NPC for.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, that was I going to help him at that moment without all the information I know?
Mm-hmm.
No, because sometimes people have bad intentions. Um, yeah, I
Yes.
yeah, I do cybersecurity and I see it almost every day that someone's trying to hack someone
Oh,
or
yeah.
trying to do something that's malicious, and I'm just like, yeah, I gotta stop, gotta put a stop to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's I'm sure in that field, that being in that field is similar to police work, to prison guards, to like you see majority of what you're going to see is the bad. Like you're seeing people trying to do things with ill intentions. So, you know, it gets to be like, bro, how many are there? Like, good Lord, are there any good people?
yeah. Well, there are good people, and
Absolutely.
I see them a
Absolutely.
lot. I see
Yeah.
them a lot. That sometimes the good outweighs the bad. Sometimes the bad outweighs the good. Depends on the day. Depends on
Yeah.
what who's knocking on the door or who's sending a ticket up saying I can't get into this. Well, you can't get into this because XYZ will fix it.
Yeah.
To hey, I can't get into this. Hey, we can't. You can't get into this because of XYZ. We're not going to do
You're
anything.
not supposed to get into it.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But it all depends on the client, depends on the situation, depends on contracts. It all depends on a bunch of stuff.
Sure. Well, there's a lot of elderly people that are victim to a lot of the stuff, you know, the technology stuff now. Like it's
Yeah,
just, you know, they're not used to it. They're not used to it. They haven't had a chance to learn. And as you get older, you know, it's they don't learn as quickly as when they were younger. So it's hard for them to accept like, oh, that there's people that are like have fake accounts
yeah,
that pretend to be somebody they're not, you know, like
yeah.
a couple months ago, my sister called me and said, Mom is, can you please talk to her? I have two sisters and I've always been like the tech support for computer stuff and for the family
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever. So, can you please talk to her? She won't listen to me. She thinks that she's actually chatting, like texting on Facebook Messenger, whatever. She thinks she's actually texting the real Jeremy Renner, you know, the
Yeah,
actor.
I saw that on your Insta.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll talk to her. But she doesn't understand. Like like something that comes natural, or maybe not natural, but we're used to. The younger
Mhm.
generation, you yourself, you know, you work in this field, even teenagers, when they see something, a message from somebody, they're going to look at their profile instantly. They're going to go right there and go, oh, the dude has like 400 people following him. That's not the real
and
Jeremy
no
Renner.
posts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and no posts. Okay.
Yeah.
These Instagram ones that, like, I do it every couple days. I go through and I see all the hidden requests,
Hmm.
and it's like it's all the porn stuff. Okay, we all
Wait, wait,
know.
wait. Real quick. How many are patch companies asking you for their
Oh,
business?
good
Or
Lord, half.
yeah.
Oh Lord, it really, I get those every day.
I
But
know.
yeah, you know, you see a profile that's got, they're following 4,000 people. They have 100 people following them and 0 posts. And it's
Mhm.
the profile picture of it is a girl in a bikini. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this girl in a bikini likes me. She wants me to be her friend on Instagram. Like, can you imagine how dumb that sounds? Like, you
Yeah,
really
it's
would fall
stupid.
for that. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of elderly people that don't know to look at these certain things. Like,
Hmm.
you know, that would say, hey, that's not a real account. Well, what is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a real person. Like, there's a bunch of people that are faking that, or like bots that they've created to create extra accounts that try to fish for information or get you to click on the, usually it's to click on the porn link. And
Yeah, and then you get a virus
then you get a
and
virus, and they don't understand what viruses are in a computer. They don't understand a malware. It slows your
yeah.
computer down and malicious stuff. So it's yeah.
Yeah, that
Anyway, you
that
probably
that's
see a
like
lot
the
of this stuff.
yeah, that's like the first part of the I like to coin it as the Calcutta scam. Like you click on something, it says, "Hey, you need to call this number." Then you call the number, and then it's some guy from Calcutta, India. It's like, did you need to download a tech support for $599 or something like that?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, funny enough, someone I remember, I think this had to be a year or two ago. Someone called me out of the blue, and it was this elderly lady saying, "Why did you call me?" I'm like, "I never called you." They were probably spoofing my number.
Mm,
Yeah, because they like to spoof numbers and everything.
okay.
Instead of like social media, it's just phone calls.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, did you do XYZ?" "No, I didn't." I was like, "Good,"
Mm,
because they're trying to get your information and everything. I told her
mm-hmm.
best cybersecurity practices and hung up and
Oh, good.
never heard from her again. But I
Yeah.
mean that it's just like they spoof numbers and
Yep.
have at it because then if you want to look up a number, it's like, "Oh, yeah, Chase Bank is calling me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the number. Oh, it's legit." And it's
Yeah.
some guy asking for all my bank account information. Like
Yep.
people can do that stuff and it's scary.
Absolutely.
It honestly is.
Have you seen the recent? I just saw it today, actually. I think on Instagram. Uh, God, I wish I could remember. Let me see if it pops up here real quick.
Hmm.
It is this ad on Instagram that I see all the, you know, these all these different ads that is
Hmm.
something to do with the audio and video. And what it is a, the video looks like, and maybe you guys have seen this or whatever yet, but it's a split video, top and bottom. It has Morgan Freeman speaking on the top. It has some white dude, right? Like
Yeah.
a computer programmer dude, looking dude. Below it, he's actually the one speaking and moving, but the AI is changing his look to look like Morgan Freeman and putting his uh, voice changer to make it sound like Morgan Freeman. But you can, there's a couple of words here and there you can tell it's not Morgan Freeman,
Yeah.
but everything else, I mean, it looks just like him. Like, it, talk about a deep fake, bro. Like,
Well, well,
dude,
AI is getting scary. Like if do you know what Moore's law is?
no.
Okay, so Moore's law is every 18 months, computer processing doubles.
Mm,
That there's some I forget the exact name for it, but there's also some like I think it's more ceiling or something like that where eventually it will stop because everything gets so like microscopic. Like we're putting together CPUs with microscopes at this
yeah,
point using
exactly.
like everything's almost down to the atom.
Oh,
But
absolutely. They're cramming more into less space.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
but that also goes for like other technologies and stuff like that.
Sure.
So probably in like 18 months, we're going to see indistinguishable deepfakes.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And like even if you look at any ChatGPT or any AI that we look at, it's scary. Like you
Yeah.
can easily write malicious code with it. You can you can get Windows activation keys. Do not get Windows activation keys by typing, "Hey, generate Windows activation keys." Uh, um, yeah, Microsoft does not want you to do that. And it's completely free.
Yeah.
Um, but you could do a lot of malicious stuff with AI, and it's scary to the point where it's like, should they start regulating this stuff? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it comes down to a point where it's like, is there, do we want humans to use AI as a tool, or are we gonna have Skynet eventually?
Yeah, I mean, look at our history so far. Those the powers that be kind of thing have always been gotten corrupted. They've always eventually gotten corrupted. Always.
Yeah.
Like they always get into a position where they make bad choices that they wouldn't
Hmm.
normally make, but they'll do it because of pressure or money and or both. And it's
Hmm.
you know, so they're being blackmailed. I don't know, their families in jeopardy, or they're just so deep into this thing, like typically politicians and high, you know, high level like corporate executives and shit like that,
Hmm.
in defense contracts or any kind of thing like on a lower level that you wouldn't think that would matter. I mean, we see these movies, we see these TV
Yeah.
shows, you know, where something starts. It's not far fetched to think, because we understand how business works, we understand how corporations work, how politicians work, how all these things are set up.
Hmm.
They're not going to make rules to regulate themselves and limit the amount of money they can make, because that's why they, you know, in the past 20 some years, that's why they go into these type of fields or whatever. But
Yeah.
they get compromised. I mean, I can't sit here and point a finger at them. I mean, if somebody offered me, you know, $20 million tomorrow for whatever, like they're everyone, you know how they say everyone has a price, you
Yeah.
know. uh i, I kind of believe that. I'd
Yeah.
love to say I don't. Like, my character and values are way more important. But if if what they're offering outweighs like what you got to do, okay, what do you got to do? Well, you just give them a little info on this, or vote this little stupid thing over here. Like, it's not a big deal, because they're not going to ask you to go kill the president or kill your mom. Like,
Yeah.
that's not usually what it is. It's usually something's going to benefit them, and without making too many waves, because they don't want to be found out. So, okay, I'll take 20 million to do what, this little thing. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
bro, like that's a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah. And
I don't
then
know,
it's, hey,
man.
we
Maybe it
got
does
blackmail
need,
on you.
yeah, they'll blackmail you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, once you're compromised in that position, or I guess you're in that position, I would hate to be asked something like that, because once you're there, if you say no, you could be, okay, we're going to blackmail you now. We'll force you to do it and you won't get any money.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, the AI thing, I don't know, man. Is there, what could they do to regulate it?
Um,
Make it
and
illegal? Like,
that's
what do they do? Remember Napster back in the day? Do you remember
no,
Napster? You're probably too
no, I'm too
young.
young. I'm too young for
Okay.
that.
That was the rave, bro. That was the shit. Okay. That was LimeWire and Napster. That's where everybody
I
downloaded all their
all their illegal music. Like you wouldn't download a car.
yes.
Well, I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
now I would download a car because I could probably 3D print.
No
If a
shit.
big enough printer, I could 3D print it. But
For real.
but but yeah, I know of LimeWire and Napster just vaguely.
Yeah.
But
Well, we thought at the
it
time that we thought they couldn't regulate that. We thought, okay, there's no way they can stop it. They can't do this, you know, and they figured out a way to.
yeah.
So maybe there is a way. I don't know, for this AI
I
thing.
I mean honestly that I personally I think it's gone too far. AI's gone too far that they gotta regulate it. I don't know how. I
Yeah.
think they gotta do maybe licenses and stuff like that because if you let AI run wild, eventually it's going to write Hamlet. It's
Yeah.
going to do something bad.
Yeah.
Like there's all these AI experiments that are like put two AIs together and have them talk, and then they come up with a secret language that the programmers don't know, and then they got to pull the plug. Like it's
Dude, that's
scary.
so
Yeah,
crazy.
that it was Meta Facebook that did that, or I think it was Facebook before they became Meta or something like
Yeah.
that, that they made their own secret language and scared the hell out of the programmers. But
How
I,
fast can that get out of control? Holy shit.
yeah, that's
I mean,
that's what
bro.
that's what scares the hell out of me. And I'm honestly a Luddite for AI.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I'm a Luddite. But there are benefits to AI that you can get answers easier, it can improve workflow. AI is used in a bunch of antivirus software, a bunch
Hmm.
that I work with to
Yeah.
determine if stuff is malicious or not, because it will just run in a sandbox and figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like your AVG, your McAfee, stuff like that, that's signature based.
Mm-hmm.
That basically runs a file. And if the file looks like a bad file, then it's going to get rid of it.
Mm.
But if a bad file uh, doesn't look like a bad file, like if you change one period or if you add one comment into the code, it completely changes the hash of the file.
Oh.
That it compares the hashes of the
It'll
file,
get
but if you
past it.
do, yeah, if you do one little tweak, it's going to change the hash, and that's
Yeah.
going to go through.
Mm.
There is something called polymorphic malware that changes its signature and changes what it does, and that can bypass signature-based AVs. So what these AVs or antivirus systems do with AI is that sometimes they run the software inside of a sandbox, and if it's bad, it kicks it out. If it's nothing, like say if it's a false positive, it lets it through. Sometimes it does on the live system, which I've had happen a couple times. I'm not going to name names because
So
yeah.
when you're saying in the sandbox, you're doing it before it's released to, like, you're doing it kind of practicing basically
The
without it
same.
being left out in the or released out in the public kind of thing.
So an AV or antivirus sandbox, what that is that it's basically running the file inside of a controlled area
Yeah.
where it's not going to reach out to the network
Gotcha.
and or other machines to possibly infect them. So if the file is bad, it's contained on like one. It's basically like a virtual machine, if you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm talking about, like a virtual machine that they can just get rid of anytime
Yeah.
or something akin to that.
So you test it, you'll see, okay, well, how does it do with these files? And okay, it did okay, so we can use it.
Yeah, do we see any indicators of compromise or anything like that? And if we do, then it's bad. If we don't, it's probably good. We'll leave it up to whoever.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's always the possibility of false positives or hey, I need this program for a student. This changes some things on the machine because it's an accessibility thing.
Mm.
Um, but it changes some machines and then the AV thinks it's a rootkit or something like that. And it's like, no, it's not. Let it through. Or hey, this is your backup solution. It looks like ransomware. Well, it backs up everything that we need to keep it. It's been good for everywhere else except here, and we got
Yeah.
added to the exclusion list. But that's my work getting into Airsoft.
Have you, yeah, but have you seen the guy, have you seen this guy that's one of these hacker programmer dudes that's like, he has a Instagram, he has a TikTok, he puts out all these videos on how he was on Sean Ryan podcast. And I
Okay.
don't know if you ever seen that, but he this guy went on there, and while he's talking to Sean Ryan, he says, so Sean's like, so you could hack my phone and my network, like all this kind of, he's like, I already did. Like it was like a scene
Yeah.
from a movie. He's like, yeah, I already did. And he shows him what he did. He's like, yeah, I use this program right here. Like he shows all the behind the scenes, all the backdoor crap. And he's like, yeah, it was super easy. It took 30 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever it was. Like, yeah, I already did this. And Sean's like, okay. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Well, when you live behind a Soho network, yeah, I mean that you can get pwned pretty easily if you live behind a Soho network. But there is a hacker, or just want to add on that there's a hacker conference called DEF CON. This was that there was one speaker. His name's Johnny Long. I don't know where the heck in the world he is now,
Yeah.
but yeah, he was infamous, and he had one panel of like, this is how easy it is to hack stuff and spot the Fed. And the last slide that stuck with me through everything was it was just a couple words. It was like, is everything lost? Yes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's scary. Like
Yeah.
if you know how to do stuff, or if you know what you need to do to hack someone, like you would be smash your computer, burn your hard drives with thermite. And yeah, it's a scary world out there, and sometimes you just gotta accept the risk. Because if you don't accept any risk, then you won't be able to do anything.
So this is the guy's name, Ryan Montgomery.
Hmm.
He's a ethical hacker who he spends most of his time. I remember now. I'm looking at the episode on Sean Ryan's show. Came out a year ago. Ethical hacker who hunts child predators and
I did
catches them.
see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
So he knows. I don't know. I can't remember everything about. I listened to that, but I don't remember his whole background. But he's definitely into the. He knows a lot about like your kind of work, the whole
Yeah,
gamut of computer stuff and programming and coding and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. That
Interesting.
I'll be honest. I don't really work that much with firewalls. I mainly do AV stuff. I can't say that's all I can really say on that. I'm not going
Sure.
to get any deeper on a recorded
No,
podcast.
no. So
Maybe
AV,
offline
you're
or
talking about
something.
antivirus stuff, and then firewall. How is that different from? Well, no,
So
antivirus is a separate piece of software. Firewall is, I don't even know, actually.
so firewall, it could be a piece of software sometimes, like Microsoft Firewall, or it could be an appliance like a FortiGate or a Sonic Wall or something like that. That's something that would go between your modem and
Hmm.
the rest of your network. Just to yeah, to
I've seen
protect
some.
yourself.
Okay, I've seen
Yeah, to
those on
protect
like
yourself.
movies and stuff.
Yeah, to protect yourself against certain IPs that you don't want to get through, or certain things you don't want to get through the firewall, like
Yeah.
certain websites or
Okay.
certain or well, not certain users, certain computers,
Yeah.
um, and or certain files maybe.
Hmm.
Depends on how you have it configured. That I'm not an expert on it. I'm not NSC like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 certified, but I can
No, but
tell
you
you
have
that it
some
goes.
experience in it. What if you had to recommend, if you were able to recommend to the common man out here, like that's getting a new gaming computer, what I mean, besides the basic tips, right? Like don't click on email, like links in emails. Don't click on
Yeah,
any links. Don't open emails that you don't know of. Don't click on any links in emails or text messages now. We're getting
yeah.
those.
Text messages is a
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Anything that just doesn't sound right. Like, they almost got me. I'm very, very diligent about watching for all this stuff. They almost got me last year when the text messaging thing started coming out, and it was the one about the Amazon package that
Hmm.
is being held because of something. And I'm like, this is a smart one because most people order up at Amazon every
Yeah.
week, every month, whatever, like consistently. So they're getting these kind of confirmation emails. They're getting these things that look like. I went through the email that I got. One of the emails I got
Hmm.
was everything looked legit on the Amazon one. I have legit Amazon emails. And then I
Hmm.
had this one that at the very, very, when I scrolled all the way down to the bottom, the little copyright, the fine print, little tiny little thing at the very bottom in the middle that says the
Hmm.
year, it says this and that. Said they forgot to copy and paste that or whatever. They forgot, it was
Oh,
all wrong.
yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
I
a
was
rookie
like,
mistake.
that was the only thing. Everything else looked legit. And I told my wife, I was like, look at this. Okay. Cause she's one to like, she'll go to click on something. Like, don't do that. Cause
Yeah.
this just happened recently, like a couple weeks ago. She said something about what? We're sitting next to each other. I think we were in the car and I'm driving and she
Hmm.
goes, what? And she's looking at her phone. I didn't do this. This person must have the wrong number. She goes to send a text message back. And I said, stop it. Now, it could have
Yeah.
been some random thing that just, okay. Or it could have been some kind of phishing thing where they're trying to get, a conversation started with, get some info. I don't know. But it was an unknown number. She got a text that was odd. I can't remember what they were asking for. And I said, no,
Hmm.
no, no. They're just trying to trick you into texting back. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just delete the text, never think of it again. Don't just, and if that ever happens again, just treat it like a phone number that calls you that is unknown. Don't
Hmm.
answer it. Same with the text. If you get a text message from an unknown number, don't answer it. Because if it's somebody you know or important, they'll call you, you'll know who it
Hmm.
is. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so what can you recommend to somebody besides those kind of basic stuff?
One major thing,
Okay.
check the link. It You can click and drag on the link and you'll be able to see the URL. If the URL looks weird and it doesn't look standard, don't go to that site. If you get a email or a text message saying like, hey, for instance, hey, your bank account's frozen, click this link and log in. Don't believe that. Go ahead and log into the portal or the app or what have you, or the official app or portal that you use to access your account and go through
Mhm.
that way. And if you're unsure, then you can go ahead and call them up and just confirm. Because usually their phone numbers are online. Make sure you do get the official phone number because sometimes what these scammers do is that they go ahead and rent out ad space and then they put their phone number as the official number,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not it. Go to the website, confirm the number, make sure you
Right.
don't click on the sponsored thing. Um, and then also for PayPal, or this is a big one that especially in the airsoft community,
Mm.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, um, that just be wary of scams. Like if someone says, "Hey, this isn't going through unless if you pay me money" or stuff like that, um, then be wary of that. Also, if you're doing anything through PayPal, use goods and services. Don't use friends and family unless if you know them or have done
Mm-hmm.
yeah, known them. Um, and if you feel comfortable, you can do friends and family, but people can always scam you on that. Um, I've seen a lot of people get scammed through friends and family, and that's not just a cybersecurity thing. That's just a general thing. Don't
Mm-hmm.
be stupid like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there
trying to
any
think.
like antivirus, any kind of piece of software that someone getting a computer that maybe it doesn't come with that they should have that's some kind of security thing? Or does
So
Apple and Windows pretty much handle that in-house? Like all that comes standard?
so generally, that when you get a new Microsoft machine, that comes preloaded with McAfee,
Yeah.
which is
Or
eh.
Windows Defender? Yeah.
Well, Windows Defender is built in.
Right.
I personally cannot recommend an AV at this time
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
contracts,
Yes.
but what I can say is McAfee does come preloaded, and it's okay. It's not the best.
Yeah.
You probably want to look for other solutions.
Honestly, I don't even
What?
know what all the different ones are out there. There's McAfee. I know that one's been around forever. Did you see the documentary on that dude?
No, but I remember when it was
The
happening.
big
Like,
scandal or something?
yeah,
Like,
he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to self delete."
yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, what happens? He winds up in a jail cell and he Epstein's himself, or not Epstein's, or no, yeah, he basically Epstein's,
Uh-huh.
and
It's pretty
we're
wild.
like,
I think there was a
yeah.
documentary on Netflix or something on him. He was
Just
like
one
a play.
second.
Yeah, go ahead. He was like a playboy and doing some crazy wild stuff for
Sorry
a
about
while.
that.
Yeah, go ahead. But
No, sorry,
yeah,
I just had to talk to someone
yeah, no problem.
with the mic muted. But yeah, I mean I saw it developing in real time, but I gotta watch the documentary that is on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but it's very interesting. But yeah, he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't whatever. And I don't know. There was a bunch of people that were mad at him. Let's
Yeah.
see. McAfee.
While you're looking that up, I
Yeah,
do
go ahead.
just want to say one thing though, with
Yeah.
the PayPal stuff. There
Yes.
are instances of money being held if you are like a first time seller and you
Mm-hmm.
get over $100 or something like that, it holds the money till like you provide tracking information and everything.
Yep. I think it's
So
21 days.
really,
Yeah. It's
for
happened
a
to me.
first time seller,
Hmm.
yeah, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that stuff does happen. So if someone says, "Hey, it's holding the money," they might be a first time seller, so that's always possible.
Yeah.
Um, but after that first one or two times, it doesn't do that anymore.
Right.
So just be on the lookout for that. I almost got scammed on Zelle, to be completely honest with you. That I was trying to
Really?
sell a bureau set that my mother wanted, gone, gone, gone.
Yeah.
So someone hit me up and was just like, "Can we do Zelle? I've never done Zelle before. Here's my information for Zelle that you're supposed to give. Oh, I need this and this. You need this." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. We're doing PayPal now. We're not doing Zelle." I got ghosted. So
Exactly. No, another classic one is if your first after your first text back and forth conversation, if they immediately try to get you to go, hey, let's go talk on WhatsApp. Okay.
nope, nope, nope,
That's
nope, nope,
a
nope.
red
Yeah,
flag, period, people. Okay.
yeah.
Red flag. I don't know why. I guess because WhatsApp is really vulnerable to hack stuff. I don't know, but
Well, I don't
they,
know.
for some reason, the scammers want you to go to WhatsApp, and when you don't, they ghost you. So,
Yeah. Also, if you are buying stuff, ask for a picture of it with your username. Yeah, your username and the date.
mm,
um like with the item. So like if you're selling, say, a MPO ASVAL, ask for, "Hey, can you write my name or my Instatat," or you can't sell guns on Insta anymore, Discord username or something like that, and the
yeah,
date on there, and then take a picture of it. So it's proof of them having it, or even a shooting video of, so then you know, okay, it functions, they have it, and it shoots well.
yeah. At least you hope that's the one that they're selling you, that they're using in the
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
And we are
But
just
that's,
talking about this AI generated videos now. Good Lord, who knows?
well, I mean, they can't even figure, AI is dangerous, but also they can't figure out that we have five fingers. So, I mean,
What?
yeah, that if you look at any AI picture, sometimes you see four fingers, sometimes you see three, sometimes you see six. Look at the
Huh.
fingers, look at guns. They can't do guns and fingers right now.
Oh,
Now,
that's
give it some
wild.
time. Yeah, give it some
Oh,
time
they'll learn.
and they'll learn.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
crazy.
yeah.
Well, I'm
Or
looking up
flat.
this McAfee thing to tell you where. Yeah. Yeah, there's a, I believe it's on Netflix. I think it's all over the place. It was put out by BBC. Um, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, interesting since we're talking about hacking stuff and antivirus stuff.
Mhm.
Yep. Big
Yeah.
scandal with him. And yeah, he did Epstein himself. So
Yeah. Or
mhm.
he got Epsteined. I think
He got
that's the right
Epstein.
term. He
That's
got
probably the right.
Epsteined.
Yeah, he got Epstein.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's crazy. Because he said, if like he always said, I will not kill myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say
Okay.
that
There.
too. I always say that
Yeah.
too, just in case. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just so anyone knows, I might be emotional up and down here and there, but never, ever to that point. So
Yeah.
if
I mean,
something happens,
yeah. I mean, just thinking about, I mean, and roping back to what we were talking about earlier with religion, that it, I can't really fathom it. I mean, it makes no sense. Like, we have such a beautiful world out there. We have good friends. There are people that will miss you, that family. I know family sometimes can be hard, but they still, most of them love you at the end of the day. Depends on the situation. I'm not
sure.
going to I'm not going to put
Yeah,
everyone under
never
one
know.
blanket, but I mean, there's still a bunch of beautiful stuff in the world. I know there's vices out there, but nothing's worth self deleting yourself. I'm trying to keep you marketable on other podcast things
Oh yeah, you're good, bro. It's
that don't
fine.
like
We
the
can
S
we can
word.
speak freely. I don't, yeah, I don't mind. It's but yeah, that's for real though. And
Yeah,
and the other thing too to remember, you have a purpose on this earth.
yeah,
You and I'm not saying like, okay, it God has this thing for you to do. I do believe that, okay?
yeah.
I don't think it's as specific as we think. I think that it's kind of broad, but
Hmm.
the main general thing that you are here to do is to help someone else better their lives. And I
Hmm.
don't mean like monetarily or material things. Those could be extra bonuses. They're not bad.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's to help them get through something that maybe you're struggling with. And the thing is, the longer we struggle and sit in our struggle, and a lot of times we sit in our struggle because of our own selves, right? We get in our
Yeah.
head and we have a lot of self-pity or whatever, and that
Hmm.
holds us back from moving forward. That is a trick. Okay. I'm not saying it's a trick by the enemy. I'm saying get out of your head.
Hmm.
Think of the bigger picture. Someone is out there waiting for you to tell your story, to be in contact with it, whatever it is. Maybe you run into them at the airsoft field, at the paintball field,
Yeah.
at a corporation, event that for the paintball thing or airsoft thing, and you bump into somebody, you guys, share stories for a little bit, and you help them. You didn't even know it,
Yeah.
but because you told them about something you struggled with or something you went through, whatever came up in the conversation, it helped brighten their day a little bit so that they don't go home and do something bad to themselves or
Yeah.
to someone else. And it doesn't always have to be killing yourself. I mean, that's a worse thing, but it could
Yeah.
be the way they treat their family. Like they go home and get drunk because they're in this depression or anger, and they lash out, right? Mentally, or I mean, verbally or whatever. Who knows? Like maybe you are there to help them to be a little bit better, think about something, better and do something better in their life.
Yeah.
You never know. And I think I really do believe that that's what we're here for. One of the
Yeah.
reasons that we're here.
And there's a lot of resources out there if you are feeling that way, that you got friends, you got, if you do hobbies,
Yeah.
people in the hobbies like us, if you are feeling down that bad place, they changed the number, it's 988 now. That's
Okay.
the hotline.
Yeah, that's right.
Um yeah, so if you do feel down there and you feel like you have no one, call that.
Call that. That's
Uh
plus there's I think better help. Like there's stuff
mhm.
you can click on online where you can talk to somebody, you can chat with somebody, you can like even the first time I think it's free, like talking with somebody on there for a few
Yeah.
minutes.
So
Yeah.
so if you are feeling like that, there are people willing to help you.
Hmm.
So,
And if you
um,
don't, and if you hear this and you're out there and you've never been on here and you want to talk to me, you can talk to Frank here. You can reach out to all of our socials or whatever. You can DM me. Um, Absolutely 100%. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning and whatever, like we'll figure something out and we'll talk.
yeah, and quoting OG real quick, he was saying that there are your 5 o'clock friends, and then there's your 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. friends.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
That's what it is, man. There's a
yeah.
lot of people in the airsoft community that would be 2 a.m. friends
Yeah.
for sure. Speaking of that, man, let everybody know where they can find your stuff online, and we'll wrap it up.
Yep, that you can find my stuff on YouTube, Frank Dad. It's not Frank Dad Airsoft, it's just Frank Dad, all one word, FRANKDAD. Instagram and TikTok is Frank Dad underscore Airsoft. Because someone already took Frank Dad.
Oh,
Hop up. I'm not gonna go for hop up. Discord Frank Dad. If you see me, say hi. I do 3D prints. That I try to help out people, um, and also anything that I do, I try to put it back into my channel, back into my Instagram page, and try to use that money for giveaways. That one of the giveaways that I'm doing is a the fans voted on this,
okay.
so that they chose it, not me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a post-apocalypse style airsoft gun for my 1,000 sub giveaway on my YouTube channel. That
Okay.
and honestly, I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait to come on here till I got 1,000 subs. To be
Yes.
completely honest with you,
Right.
just so I can say that. So
No, dude,
that's
it's great. Congratulations too.
thank you. That's in the works. That so the guy that's paying it for me, he's putting on sealer, and that should be done in a couple of days because he has to let it dry. But Jackal Tactical though. who's a sponsor of the podcast, if you're skipping around, that they were able to help me out with getting the. Oh shoot, I should
Oh,
have said that. With
why?
getting the gun. Oh, I slipped. That was a slip of the tongue.
Do you want me to
But
you want me to cut it out?
no, it's fine.
I
It's
can bleep
fine.
it.
Yeah, you can bleep it, sure. We'll
Okay.
we'll make it a mystery for everybody. But but yeah, that one pistol that I got a really good paint design on it. I hope to give it away or hope to announce it next week. Like I said, I am going to that wedding, so it's probably gonna
Right.
have to be the week after.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, then we'll be doing 1,000 sub live stream or something like that.
Okay.
Um, Actually, it might come out, or I might do the live stream right before the podcast drops. I don't know. It all depends
Okay.
on the timing of when I actually get the gun back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing.
This, well, I'll tell you when it comes out right now.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, man. Let me look at my calendar. This is gonna come out. Oh, yours coming out this Sunday. So today's Wednesday. Yours
Oh
coming
yeah.
out
So
June 2nd.
okay, so it's probably going to come at, or the giveaway is probably going to happen
After
two,
that.
3 weeks, two, three
Yeah.
weeks after this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that
Nice. Okay.
yeah,
Good deal, man.
and oh, I would be at the event the day before, so I wouldn't be able to say like meet me at the event, that one event in Jersey.
Yeah.
Um, just trying to think that you could find me at an ambush walk on in July. That I don't know when I'm going, but
Okay.
sometime in July I want to get out there.
Yeah.
So
Awesome, man.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, dude. It's great to finally get to talk with you because we've followed each other on Instagram for a couple years now, and
Hmm.
yeah, man, I appreciate what you're doing. Good good on you on your Airsoft channel or YouTube channel.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good. So everyone go and find I'll have all the links in here. Go follow him on Instagram and YouTube. And yeah, you got some good content, man. I appreciate you being on. It's a great conversation, man. You have a lot of good background and a lot of good insight on a lot of things with airsoft and computer text. Well, I guess antivirus
Well,
stuff, cybersecurity.
cybersecurity.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Well, I appreciate you too, Eric. Thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome.